the enchanted lantern. Once upon a time, in a charming village surrounded by emerald forests and sparkling rivers, there was a legend of a magical lantern hidden deep in the woods. This lantern was said to grant one wish to anyone who found it, provided their heart was pure and their intentions noble. In this village lived a kind-hearted young girl named Ilara. Ilara loved to help others and often spent her days tending to the village gardens and assisting her neighbors. One day, as she was picking flowers by the river, she overheard an old storyteller recounting the tale of the enchanted lantern. Intrigued, Ilara decided that she wanted to find the lantern and use its magic to help her village, which had recently fallen on hard times. The journey begins determined. Ilara set out early the next morning, carrying only a small satchel with some bread, a flask of water, and a warm cloak. The path to the lantern was said to be fraught with challenges, so she needed to be prepared. As she ventured into the forest, the trees seemed to whisper secrets, and the air was filled with the sound of rustling leaves. After walking for a while, she encountered a wise old owl perched on a low branch. The first challenge, the riddle of the owl. The owl looked at Ilara with its large, knowing eyes and spoke, "To proceed, you must answer my riddle. I have cities, but no houses. I have mountains, but no trees. I have water, but no fish. What am I?" Ilara thought for a moment and then answered, "A map." The owl hooted in approval and flapped its wings, revealing a hidden path illuminated by a soft, golden light. Ilara followed the path deeper into the forest. The second challenge, the mysterious stream. The path led Ilara to a babbling stream with sparkling water. As she approached, she noticed that the stream was obstructed by floating stones that seemed to shift and move. On the opposite bank stood a small, delicate fairy. The fairy fluttered her wings and said, "To cross the stream, you must find the pattern in the stones. Only then will you safely reach the other side." Ilara carefully observed the stones and noticed that they formed a pattern of twinkling lights when aligned in a specific order. She stepped on the stones according to the pattern and successfully crossed the stream. The third challenge, the whispering grove. On the other side of the stream, Ilara entered a grove where the trees seemed to whisper secrets to one another. She was greeted by a friendly squirrel who asked her to solve the final riddle. "I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" Ilara answered, "A joke." The squirrel nodded and scurried away, revealing a hidden entrance covered in vines. Ilara pushed through the entrance and found herself in a serene glade. The enchanted lantern. In the center of the glade stood a beautiful, ornate lantern hanging from an ancient oak tree. The lantern was glowing softly, casting a warm, inviting light. Ilara approached and gently lifted the lantern. As she held it, a gentle voice emanated from the lantern, "To use my magic, you must make a wish with a pure heart." Ilara closed her eyes and made her wish. "I wish for my village to prosper and for the people to be happy and healthy." The lantern's light grew brighter, and a soft breeze carried the magic back to the village. As Ilara made her way home, she could see the signs of change. The fields were lush and green, the river flowed abundantly, and the village was bustling with renewed energy and joy. The return home. When Ilara returned, the villagers greeted her with joy and gratitude. The village was thriving once more, and the magic of the enchanted lantern had brought prosperity and happiness to everyone. Ilara's kindness and bravery were celebrated, and the tale of her journey was passed down through generations. The enchanted lantern became a symbol of hope and the power of selfless wishes. And so, Ilara's village continued to flourish, forever touched by the magic of the enchanted lantern in the heart of a young girl who wished for the happiness of others. Once upon a time, in the kingdom of Lyria, nestled between emerald hills and glistening rivers, lay a quaint village named Riverview. This village was renowned for its serene beauty and the legend of a hidden treasure known as the Moonstone, said to be tucked away in a mysterious cavern deep within the whispering forest. The Moonstone was no ordinary gem. It was believed to have the power to grant a single wish to anyone pure of heart. Many had searched for the cavern, but none had succeeded, for it was said to be guarded by magical creatures and riddles only those with true courage could solve. In Riverview lived a young girl named Ilara. Ilara was known for her kind heart and adventurous spirit. One evening, as the full moon cast a silvery light over the village, Elara decided it was time to seek out the Moonstone. She wished to use its magic to help her village prosper, as they had been struggling with a harsh drought. With a satchel of supplies and a heart full of hope, Elara ventured into the Whispering Forest. The forest was alive with gentle whispers and soft, glowing lights. As Elara followed a narrow path lined with glowing mushrooms, she felt a sense of both wonder and anticipation. The first challenge Elara faced was a vast, shimmering lake that stretched out before her. The water sparkled like diamonds under the moonlight, but there was no visible way across. As she pondered her next move, a voice echoed from the water's surface. "To cross, you must show courage and resolve. Answer this riddle, and the way will open." A beautiful swan with feathers that shimmered like the moon emerged from the lake. The swan recited, "I have keys but open no locks. I have space but no room. You can enter but cannot go outside. What am I?" Elara thought carefully and then answered, "A piano." The swan nodded approvingly, and the lake parted to reveal stepping stones that led across. Elara crossed the lake with determination and continued deeper into the forest. The next challenge led Elara to a dense thicket, where the trees formed a labyrinth. At the entrance stood a wise old owl perched on a branch. "To pass through the maze, you must help a creature in need," the owl hooted softly. "Look for the creature that needs your aid, and the path will be revealed." Elara wandered through the maze, guided by the soft hoots of the owl. After a while, she found a small hedgehog tangled in a net of thorns. With gentle hands and a soothing voice, Elara carefully freed the hedgehog. The grateful creature scurried away, and as it did, the thorns parted to reveal the way forward. Finally, Elara reached the entrance to the Moonstone Cavern. The cavern's mouth was hidden behind a waterfall, which cascaded down in shimmering sheets. As Elara stepped closer, a soft, melodic voice spoke from within the waterfall. "To enter the cavern, you must face the test of the heart. Show your true self, and the path will open." Elara took a deep breath and stepped through the waterfall into the cavern. Inside, the cavern was filled with glowing crystals that cast a rainbow of colors on the walls. In the center of the cavern stood the Moonstone, perched on a pedestal of crystal. As Elara approached the Moonstone, she felt a surge of warmth and light. She placed her hands gently on the gem and made her wish, "I wish for my village to be blessed with rain so that our land may flourish and our people may thrive." The Moonstone glowed brightly, and a soft, ethereal light filled the cavern. Elara felt a sense of peace and joy, knowing that her wish was sincere and came from the heart. With a final burst of light, the Moonstone's magic spread across the land. Elara made her way back to Riverview, where she found that the sky was now filled with dark, rain-filled clouds. The rain began to fall gently, soaking the parched earth and bringing life back to the fields and rivers. The villagers rejoiced, their hearts filled with gratitude for Elara's bravery and selflessness. The village prospered once more, and the story of Elara's quest became a cherished tale told to children and grandchildren, inspiring them to believe in the magic of a pure heart. And so, Riverview thrived under the blessing of the Moonstone, and the Whispering Forest remained a place of wonder and magic, where dreams and wishes came to life. Once upon a time, in a land where the sun always set in hues of gold and lavender, there was a quaint village named Willowbrook. Nestled between rolling hills and lush meadows, Willowbrook was a place of peace and harmony, known for its grand willow tree at the village square. The willow tree was said to be enchanted, and its gentle whispers were believed to hold secrets of wisdom and magic. In Willowbrook lived a young boy named Finn. Finn was adventurous and curious, always eager to explore the woods and fields surrounding the village. He often sat by the willow tree, listening to its rustling leaves and dreaming of far-off lands. Finn's favorite story was about the lost star, a magical star that had once lit up the skies but had vanished long ago. Legend said that whoever found the lost star would be granted a single wish. One crisp autumn morning, as the golden leaves fell from the trees, Finn noticed something unusual near the base of the willow tree, a small, glimmering stone half buried in the ground. Finn picked it up and saw that it was a star-shaped gem with a soft, pulsating glow. Excitedly, he showed it to Elder Miriam, the village storyteller. Elder Miriam's eyes widened in recognition. "This is the Star of Dreams," she said. "It's said to be a clue to finding the lost star. If you have it, you may be the one destined to restore the light." Determined to uncover the mystery, Finn set out on a quest to find the lost star. Guided by the star-shaped gem, he ventured into the Whispering Woods, a place known for its magical creatures and hidden paths. As Finn walked deeper into the woods, he encountered a wise old fox named Ember. Ember had shimmering fur and a knowing gaze. "I see you carry the Star of Dreams," Ember said. "To find the lost star, you must complete 3 trials. The first trial was to find the Path of Echoes, a hidden trail that only appeared under the light of the full moon. With Ember's guidance, Finn waited until the moon was full and discovered the path, lined with glowing mushrooms that led him to a shimmering lake. At the lake, Finn met the Lake Guardian, a graceful water sprite named Naiad. "To pass this trial, you must show true courage," Naiad said. She pointed to a chest submerged in the lake's depths. "Retrieve the key of light from the chest without fear." With a deep breath, Finn dove into the cool, clear water. As he reached the chest, he found it locked with an intricate mechanism. Using his wits and courage, he solved the puzzle and retrieved the key of light, which shone brightly in his hand. Naiad smiled and granted him passage to the next trial. The second trial took Finn to the Mountain of Echoes, where he had to find the enchanted mirror hidden in a cave. The mirror showed not only reflections but also the truth within one's heart. Inside the cave, Finn faced his fears and insecurities reflected in the mirror. He bravely confronted them, showing that he was not only courageous but also honest and true to himself. The mirror revealed the path to the enchanted crown, which Finn took as a symbol of his accomplishment. The final trial led Finn to the Valley of Whispers, where he had to solve a riddle spoken by the wind spirit. The riddle was, "I have cities but no houses, forests but no trees, and rivers but no water. What am I?" Finn pondered the riddle and answered, "A map." The wind spirit, pleased with his answer, guided him to a hidden glade where the lost star lay, glowing faintly beneath a blanket of leaves. Finn gently picked up the lost star, feeling its warmth and light. As he held it, the star's glow grew brighter, filling the valley with a dazzling light. The lost star's light spread throughout the land, restoring the beauty and magic of the Whispering Woods. With the lost star's magic restored, Finn returned to Willowbrook as a hero. The village celebrated his bravery and wisdom, and the willow tree's whispers grew even more magical. Finn made a single wish, to share the lost star's light with the world, so that everyone could experience its wonder. And so, the lost star continued to shine brightly in the skies, bringing hope and joy to all. Finn's adventure became a beloved tale in Willowbrook, and his courage and kindness were remembered for generations. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in the heart of a misty forest, there was a quaint village named Luminera. The village was known for its vibrant gardens and shimmering streams, but it had one unique treasure, a magical lantern that was said to light the way for anyone who was lost or in need. The lantern was housed in the village's oldest cottage, which belonged to an elderly woman named Grandma Esme. She was known throughout the land for her kindness and wisdom. The lantern was a family heirloom, passed down through generations, and its soft, golden glow was believed to have the power to reveal hidden truths and guide people through their darkest hours. One day, the village was visited by a young prince named Leo from the neighboring kingdom of Eldoria. He had heard tales of the enchanted lantern and was intrigued by its magic. The prince was on a quest to find a rare and precious flower known as the moon blossom, which only bloomed once every 100 years under the light of the full moon. The moon blossom had the power to cure his kingdom's ailing land. Grandma Esme welcomed Prince Leo warmly and listened to his tale. "The moon blossom is indeed a rare flower," she said, "and its blooming is a sight to behold. However, finding it requires more than just luck. It requires a heart that is pure and intentions that are true." The prince, determined to help his kingdom, asked Grandma Esme if she would lend him the enchanted lantern to aid in his quest. She agreed, but only if Leo promised to return it once his mission was complete, for the lantern held great significance to her family. With the lantern in hand, Prince Leo set out into the forest under the light of the full moon. The lantern's warm glow guided his path through the tangled woods and winding streams. As he ventured deeper, he encountered various challenges: swift rivers, steep cliffs, and dense thickets. Yet, the lantern's light always found a way to show him the safest path forward. During his journey, Leo came across a small, mysterious creature, a talking fox named Finn. Finn had a coat of shimmering silver and eyes that sparkled with curiosity. "Why are you traveling so far into the forest?" Finn asked. "I am searching for the moon blossom," Prince Leo explained. "It is said to bloom only under the full moon, and I need it to save my kingdom." Finn's eyes widened with understanding. "I know where the moon blossom blooms, but it's a dangerous path. The lantern's light will help you, but you must also have a brave heart and a clear mind." Grateful for Finn's help, Leo followed him through the forest. The two of them faced many trials, from crossing rickety bridges to outsmarting mischievous sprites. With the lantern's guidance and Finn's assistance, they finally reached a secluded glade bathed in moonlight. In the center of the glade was a majestic flower, the moon blossom. Its petals glowed with an ethereal light, and its fragrance filled the air with a sense of peace and hope. Prince Leo carefully collected the moon blossom and thanked Finn for his guidance. As he turned to leave, he noticed that the lantern's light was growing dim. The enchantment that had guided him was fading, and the path back seemed uncertain. Leo realized that he needed to return the lantern to Grandma Esme, as promised. With the moon blossom secured, Leo made his way back to the village. The journey was still challenging, but the memories of his adventure and his commitment to his kingdom's welfare kept him steady. Upon returning the lantern to Grandma Esme, he presented her with the moon blossom. "You have fulfilled your promise," Grandma Esme said, smiling. "And you have shown great courage and purity of heart. The lantern will continue to guide those in need, and the moon blossom will heal your kingdom." Prince Leo returned to Eldoria, where the moon blossom was used to restore the land to its former glory. His kingdom thrived once more, and he was celebrated as a hero. He often thought fondly of the enchanted lantern in the village of Luminera, where his journey had begun. The lantern remained in Grandma Esme's cottage, its light still shining brightly for those who sought guidance. The story of Prince Leo and the enchanted lantern became a beloved legend in Luminera, reminding everyone of the power of bravery, kindness, and the magic of a guiding light. And so, the village of Luminera continued to glow with the light of hope and adventure, ever ready to illuminate the path for those who ventured into the forest in search of their own dreams. The end. Once upon a time, in the enchanting kingdom of Harmonia, music flowed through the very air, and melodies danced with the wind. The kingdom was blessed by the golden lyre, a magical instrument that had the power to bring harmony and unity to all who heard its music. It was said that the lyre's strings were spun from the sun's rays, and its melodies could heal the deepest wounds and bring peace to troubled hearts. King Alaric, the benevolent ruler of Harmonia, had always ensured the golden lyre was played at every festival and celebration, spreading joy throughout the kingdom. However, as time passed, a dark sorcerer named Malachar, jealous of Harmonia's happiness, cast a spell to steal the golden lyre. One stormy night, he succeeded, and the kingdom was plunged into sorrow and discord. Without the lyre's soothing music, disputes broke out among the people, and the once harmonious kingdom fell into chaos. King Alaric, deeply troubled by the turmoil, summoned the bravest and kindest individuals from across the land to help retrieve the golden lyre and restore peace. Among those who answered the call was a young girl named Arya. She was a talented musician with a heart as pure as her melodies. Though she had no formal training in combat or magic, Arya's love for music and her kingdom gave her the courage to volunteer for the quest. "Your Majesty," Arya said, kneeling before King Alaric, "I will find the golden lyre and bring it back to Harmonia. Music has the power to heal, and I cannot bear to see our kingdom in such despair." King Alaric, seeing the determination in Arya's eyes, nodded. "Arya, your courage and love for our kingdom are truly admirable. Take this pendant, it was blessed by the spirit of harmony and will guide you on your journey. May the melodies of Harmonia protect you." With the pendant around her neck, Arya set off on her quest. She traveled through lush forests, crossed shimmering rivers, and climbed towering mountains, guided by the pendant's gentle glow. Along the way, she met a clever and loyal squirrel named Nutkin, who offered to accompany her. "Hello, Arya," Nutkin chattered, his eyes bright with excitement. "I know these lands well and can help you find Malakar's lair." Grateful for the companionship, Arya and Nutkin continued their journey together. As they ventured deeper into the wilderness, they encountered an ancient, gnarled tree known as the Tree of Wisdom. The tree's face appeared in the bark, its eyes wise and kind. "To proceed on your quest," the Tree of Wisdom said in a deep, resonant voice, "you must solve my riddle. I am not alive, but I grow. I do not have lungs, but I need air. I have no mouth, and yet I can drown. What am I?" Arya thought for a moment before replying, "Fire." The Tree of Wisdom's branches rustled in approval. "You are wise and perceptive, young one. Continue on your journey, and may the spirit of harmony guide you." As they traveled further, Arya and Nutkin reached a tranquil lake guarded by a gentle water spirit named Selene. Her voice was like the soothing sound of waves, and she greeted them with a serene smile. "To cross my lake," Selene said, "you must show your compassion. There is a wounded fish trapped among the reeds. Help it find its way home, and I will grant you safe passage." Arya and Nutkin quickly found the fish and gently freed it from the reeds, guiding it back to the deeper waters. Selene, touched by their kindness, created a path of shimmering water lilies for them to cross. On the other side of the lake, they arrived at a dark, foreboding cave where Malakar hid with the golden lyre. The entrance was guarded by shadowy creatures, their eyes glowing with malice. Arya, her heart steady, played a simple, beautiful melody on her flute. The music, pure and enchanting, caused the shadowy creatures to retreat, allowing her and Nutkin to enter the cave. Inside, they found Malakar, holding the golden lyre, its light dimmed by his dark magic. Malakar sneered at them, his voice dripping with contempt. "Do you think you can defeat me with your simple tunes?" Arya stood tall, her voice clear and unwavering. The power of music lies not in its complexity but in its purity and the love it conveys. Harmonia will not be silenced by your darkness. With that, Arya began to play a melody she had composed in her heart, a song of unity and hope. The pendant around her neck glowed brightly, amplifying the music's power. The cave was filled with radiant light, and the shadows dissipated. The golden lyre responded to Arya's music, its strings vibrating with renewed energy. The dark magic binding it was broken, and the lyre floated into Arya's hands, its light shining brilliantly once more. Malakar, defeated and weakened, fled the cave, unable to withstand the power of the music. Arya and Nutkin returned to Harmonia, the golden lyre safely in her hands. Upon their return, Arya played the lyre at the grand celebration, and its music spread throughout the kingdom. The people of Harmonia felt their hearts lift and their spirits unite. Disputes were resolved, and harmony was restored. King Alaric, deeply moved by Arya's bravery in the lyre's return, honored her with a place in his court as the kingdom's musician laureate. Her story of courage and the power of pure music became a cherished tale in Harmonia. From that day forward, the golden lyre's melodies filled the air once more, ensuring peace and unity in Harmonia. Arya's legacy lived on, a testament to the enduring power of love, courage, and the magical bond of music. And so, Harmonia thrived, its people living in joy and harmony, forever grateful to the brave girl who brought back the song of unity. The end. Once upon a time, in the kingdom of Eldoria, there was a small village named Willowbrook. This village lay at the foot of a mystical mountain called Starfall Peak, which was said to be the dwelling place of the fabled Starry Crown. The Starry Crown was a magical artifact that could grant its bearer immense wisdom and prosperity. Many had tried to retrieve it, but none had succeeded. In Willowbrook lived a humble shepherd boy named Thomas. Thomas was known for his gentle heart and his kindness towards all living creatures. He often spent his days tending to his flock and dreaming of adventures. One night, as he lay under the starry sky, a bright shooting star streaked across the heavens and seemed to land on Starfall Peak. Thomas took it as a sign and decided to set off on a quest to find the Starry Crown and bring prosperity to his village. Early the next morning, Thomas packed a small satchel with bread, cheese, and a flask of water. He bade farewell to his family and his beloved sheepdog, Luna, who insisted on accompanying him. With Luna by his side, Thomas began his journey toward Starfall Peak. As they made their way up the mountain, the path became steeper and more challenging. They soon came to a dense forest known as the Whispering Woods. The trees seemed to murmur secrets, and the air was thick with enchantment. Thomas and Luna pressed on, guided by the light of the moon. In the heart of the forest, they encountered a wise old owl named Athene. "Who dares to enter the Whispering Woods?" Athene hooted. Thomas explained his quest, and Athene, sensing his pure intentions, decided to help. "The journey to the Starry Crown is fraught with peril," she said. "But I will guide you as far as I can." With Athene's guidance, Thomas and Luna continued through the forest. They faced their first challenge at the Crystal Cavern, where the path was blocked by shimmering, jagged crystals. Athene advised Thomas to listen to the song of the crystals to find the way through. Closing his eyes, Thomas heard a melodic hum and followed it, leading them safely through the cavern. Next, they reached the Silver Lake, whose water sparkled under the moonlight. The lake was home to a gentle water spirit named Seraphina. "To cross the lake, you must solve my riddle," Seraphina said. Her voice was soft and melodious as she asked, "What is it that you can keep after giving it to someone else?" Thomas pondered the riddle for a moment and then replied, "A promise." "Correct," Seraphina said with a smile. She created a bridge of light across the lake, allowing them to pass. As they continued their ascent, they came upon the final challenge, the guardian of Starfall Peak, a magnificent dragon named Draken. His scales shimmered like the night sky, and his eyes glowed with ancient wisdom. "Why do you seek the Starry Crown?" Draken asked, his voice rumbling like distant thunder. Thomas, with Luna by his side, spoke of his village and his desire to bring wisdom and prosperity to his people. Draken listened intently and then nodded. "To prove your worth, you must face your greatest fear." A swirling mist enveloped Thomas, revealing his deepest fear, losing his loved ones and failing his village. But Luna's steadfast presence gave him courage. He stood tall and declared, "I will not be afraid, for my heart is filled with love and hope." Draken, impressed by Thomas's bravery and pure heart, granted him passage. At the summit of Starfall Peak, under the light of 1,000 stars, Thomas found the Starry Crown resting on an ancient stone altar. As he touched it, a radiant light enveloped him, filling him with wisdom and strength. Thomas and Luna returned to Willowbrook, where the villagers welcomed them with joyous hearts. With the power of the Starry Crown, Thomas helped his village flourish. Crops grew bountifully, the wells were never dry, and the people lived in harmony and happiness. The legend of Thomas, the shepherd boy who braved the perils of Starfall Peak to bring prosperity to his village, was told for generations. And the Starry Crown remained a symbol of hope and courage, shining brightly for all to see. And they all lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed this fairy tale. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled at the foot of a grand mountain, there lived a kind-hearted girl named Lily. Lily loved nature and spent most of her time tending to her garden, which was the most beautiful in the village. Her garden was filled with vibrant flowers, delicious fruits, and fragrant herbs. People from all around would come to admire her garden and seek her advice on growing plants. One sunny morning, as Lily was watering her flowers, she noticed something unusual. A tiny, shimmering light darted through her garden and disappeared into a patch of roses. Curious, Lily followed the light and carefully parted the rose bushes. To her astonishment, she found a tiny fairy with delicate wings, caught in the thorny branches. "Please help me," the fairy pleaded with a soft, melodic voice. "I got lost and tangled in these thorns." Lily gently freed the fairy and placed her on a soft petal. "Thank you, kind human," the fairy said. "I am Flora, the fairy of the enchanted garden." As a token of my gratitude, I will grant you one wish." Lily thought for a moment and replied, "I wish for my garden to be the most beautiful and magical place in the world, where all creatures can find peace and happiness." Flora smiled and waved her tiny wand. A sparkling light enveloped the garden, and Lily watched in awe as her garden transformed. The flowers grew larger and more vibrant, the fruits became juicier and sweeter, and the herbs emitted the most delightful fragrances. But the most incredible change was the appearance of magical creatures. Butterflies with wings like stained glass, hummingbirds that sang melodies, and even tiny unicorns now roamed the garden. News of the enchanted garden spread quickly, and soon, people from distant lands came to witness its beauty. The garden became a place of wonder and joy, where everyone felt a sense of peace and happiness. One day, a young prince named Henry arrived at the garden. He had heard tales of its magic and wanted to see it for himself. As he wandered through the garden, he met Lily and was immediately struck by her kindness and beauty. "Lily," Prince Henry said, "your garden is the most magnificent place I have ever seen. How did it come to be so magical?" Lily told him the story of Flora, the fairy of the enchanted garden, and her wish for a place where all creatures could find peace and happiness. Prince Henry was deeply moved by her selflessness. "Lily, your heart is as beautiful as your garden," he said. "Would you come with me to my kingdom and help make it as wonderful as this garden?" Lily agreed, and together, they traveled to Prince Henry's kingdom. With Flora's blessing, they transformed the kingdom into a land of beauty and magic, where everyone lived in harmony with nature. The enchanted garden continued to flourish, serving as a reminder of the power of kindness and selflessness. And so, Lily and Prince Henry ruled their kingdom with love and wisdom, and their story became a beloved fairy tale passed down through generations. The enchanted garden remained a place of wonder and joy, a testament to the magic that can be found in a kind heart and a wish for happiness for all. Once upon a time, in the heart of the enchanted kingdom of Eldoria, there was a quaint village named Fairhaven. Fairhaven was known for its sparkling rivers, lush meadows, and a magnificent old oak tree at its center. The villagers believed that this oak tree was blessed with magical properties, and its branches were said to whisper secrets of old. In Fairhaven lived a young woman named Lila, known for her kindness and curiosity. Lila was especially fascinated by an old family heirloom, a moonlit locket that had been passed down through generations. The locket was rumored to hold a secret that could only be revealed under the light of the full moon. One night, as the full moon cast its silvery glow over Fairhaven, Lila decided to unlock the mystery of the locket. She had always felt a mysterious pull towards it, sensing that it held something important. With the moonlight guiding her, she set out on an adventure to uncover its secret. As she walked through the village square, the moonlight seemed to shine brighter, guiding her towards the ancient oak tree. The tree's branches swayed gently in the breeze, and its leaves rustled as if whispering secrets. At the base of the oak, Lila noticed a faint, shimmering light emanating from a hidden hollow. Curious, Lila reached into the hollow and discovered a small, intricately carved wooden box. The box had a golden keyhole, and the locket seemed to fit perfectly into it. With a mix of excitement and nervousness, Lila placed the locket into the keyhole, and the box opened with a soft click. Inside the box was a delicate map, adorned with celestial symbols and strange markings. The map seemed to lead to a hidden location deep within the enchanted forest. Determined to follow the map's guidance, Lila set out, accompanied by her loyal companion, a wise old owl named Orion. The enchanted forest was known for its magical creatures and mystical challenges. As Lila and Orion ventured deeper, they encountered their first challenge, a shimmering river guarded by a graceful water nymph. To cross this river, the nymph said, "You must answer my riddle. What has keys but cannot open locks, has space but no room, and you can enter but not go inside?" Lila pondered the riddle and then answered, "A piano." The water nymph smiled and waved her hand, creating a bridge of sparkling water for Lila and Orion to cross. They continued on their journey and soon arrived at a clearing where a majestic unicorn stood beside a hidden cave entrance. The unicorn, with eyes like pools of stardust, spoke softly, "To enter the cave, you must show bravery." Inside, You will find what you seek, but only if you face your deepest fear." With a deep breath, Lila entered the cave. Inside, the shadows danced and flickered, creating eerie shapes. Lila's heart raced, but she remembered her grandmother's words about courage being the light in the dark. She took steady steps and soon reached the end of the cave, where a soft, glowing light awaited her. At the cave's end, Lila found a pedestal holding an ornate, ancient book. The book was bound in celestial blue leather and adorned with the same symbols as the map. She carefully opened the book, revealing a series of ancient texts and illustrations. As she read, Lila discovered that the book contained the history of her family and the origin of the Moonlit Locket. The locket was a key to a hidden treasure, but more importantly, it was a symbol of her family's legacy of wisdom and kindness. The treasure was not gold or jewels, but the knowledge and values that had been passed down through the generations. With the book in hand, Lila returned to Fairhaven. She shared the story of her adventure with the villagers, revealing the true meaning of the Moonlit Locket. The villagers celebrated, recognizing the importance of the values that the locket symbolized: courage, wisdom, and kindness. The oak tree in the village square seemed to glow with newfound magic, and the whispers in its branches carried tales of Lila's bravery. The Moonlit Locket, now a cherished symbol of her family's legacy, was passed down with a renewed sense of purpose. And so, Fairhaven continued to thrive under the light of the full moon, its people guided by the values of wisdom and kindness that Lila had discovered. The tale of the Moonlit Locket became a beloved story, reminding all who heard it of the true treasures that lie within. Once upon a time, in a land where rolling hills met lush forests, there was a quaint village named Everwood. The village was surrounded by a vast and mysterious forest, home to many creatures and hidden secrets. At the heart of this forest was a place known as the Forgotten Grove, a lush sanctuary that had been lost to time and legends. The Forgotten Grove was said to be enchanted, filled with trees that whispered ancient secrets and flowers that bloomed with magical colors. However, it had been many years since anyone had ventured into the grove, and it was believed to be a place of forgotten wonders. In Everwood lived a kind and adventurous girl named Eliza. She was known for her curious spirit and deep love for nature. Eliza often roamed the edge of the forest, collecting herbs and learning about the plants. Her grandmother, a wise healer, had told her stories about the Forgotten Grove and its magical guardian, a mystical creature known as the Sylvan Serpent, who protected the grove and its secrets. One day, a shadow fell over Everwood. The crops began to wither, and the river that ran through the village grew shallow. The villagers were worried, and their once vibrant home was slowly becoming dry and barren. Desperate for a solution, the village elder recalled the old legends and suggested that the Forgotten Grove might hold the key to restoring their land. Eliza, determined to help her village, decided to seek out the Forgotten Grove. With a small satchel of supplies and a heart full of hope, she ventured into the forest. As she walked, she followed a winding path marked by ancient runes that seemed to glow faintly in the dappled sunlight. After hours of walking, Eliza reached a clearing where the trees parted to reveal the entrance to the Forgotten Grove. The air was filled with the scent of blooming flowers, and the trees stood tall and majestic, their leaves shimmering with a silver light. As Eliza entered the grove, she felt a sense of wonder and awe. The grove was more beautiful than she had ever imagined. The flowers sparkled like stars, and the trees seemed to hum with a gentle melody. But there was something missing. An eerie silence had fallen over the grove. Suddenly, a soft, ethereal light appeared, and from the shadows emerged the Sylvan Serpent, a graceful, dragon-like creature with iridescent scales and eyes that gleamed with ancient wisdom. The Sylvan Serpent spoke in a voice that sounded like a rustling breeze. "Welcome, brave one. I am the guardian of the Forgotten Grove. What brings you to this sacred place?" Eliza bowed respectfully and explained the plight of her village. "Our land is suffering, and we believe that the Forgotten Grove holds the key to restoring its health. We need your help." The Sylvan Serpent listened intently, and after a moment, it responded. "The grove's magic is tied to the balance of nature. Many years ago, a powerful spell was cast to protect the grove from harm, but it also required a sacrifice of the grove's vitality. To restore balance, The grove must be awakened. But it requires a pure heart and a selfless wish. Eliza's heart swelled with determination. I am willing to do whatever it takes to help my village. What must I do? The sylvan serpent guided Eliza to a majestic, ancient tree at the center of the grove. The tree was adorned with shimmering leaves and golden fruit. To awaken the grove, you must offer a gift of genuine love and selflessness. The fruit of this tree contains the essence of nature's balance. Present it to the heart of the forest and make a wish for the well-being of your land. Eliza carefully picked a golden fruit from the tree and carried it to a sparkling spring at the heart of the grove. She knelt by the spring, holding the fruit in her hands and closing her eyes. She thought about her village and the people she loved, wishing for their prosperity and happiness. As she made her wish, the fruit began to glow with a brilliant light. The light spread through the grove, touching every tree and flower. The grove's magic was revitalized. And the once silent grove came alive with vibrant colors and harmonious sounds. The sylvan serpent appeared once more, its scales shimmering with joy. You have restored the balance to the forgotten grove, and in doing so, you have restored the balance to your village. The magic of the grove will flow back to your land. Eliza thanked the sylvan serpent and made her way back to Everwood. As she emerged from the forest, she was greeted with a breathtaking sight. The crops were lush and green, the river was flowing abundantly, and the villagers were celebrating with joy. The villagers rejoiced, and Eliza was hailed as a hero. The forgotten grove became a cherished place of wonder and respect, and the village of Everwood thrived once more. Eliza's bravery and selflessness had not only saved her village but had also brought harmony between nature and the people. The legend of the Forgotten Grove lived on, a testament to the power of a pure heart and the magic of selfless love. And so, in the land where magic and nature intertwined, Eliza and the people of Everwood lived happily ever after, always guided by the wisdom of the Forgotten Grove. Once upon a time, in a quaint village surrounded by dense forests and rolling hills, there lived a kind-hearted woodcutter named Alden. Alden was known for his generosity and gentle nature. He always lent a helping hand to those in need, and his warm smile was a beacon of hope in the village. One evening, as Alden was returning home from the forest, he noticed a faint, ethereal glow emanating from deep within the woods. Curious, he decided to follow the light. As he ventured further, the glow grew brighter, leading him to a hidden clearing. In the center of the clearing stood an ancient, moss-covered fountain that sparkled with an otherworldly light. As Alden approached the fountain, a melodious voice echoed through the clearing. "Kind-hearted Alden, you have been chosen for a special task." The voice belonged to a beautiful water nymph named Lyria, who emerged gracefully from the fountain. Her hair flowed like liquid silver, and her eyes shone with wisdom and kindness. Many years ago, Lyria began, this fountain was enchanted by a powerful sorceress to grant wishes to those pure of heart. But the magic of the fountain is fading, and only a truly selfless act can restore its power. You, Alden, have the heart and spirit to undertake this quest. Alden, though taken aback by the sudden responsibility, nodded resolutely. "Tell me what I must do, and I will do it," he said. Lyria smiled warmly. "You must journey to the peak of Mount Alicia and retrieve the Crystal of Eternal Light. This crystal holds the power to rejuvenate the fountain and restore its magic. The path is fraught with dangers and challenges, but I believe in your courage and kindness." With a heart full of determination, Alden set off on his journey the next morning. The villagers, hearing of his noble quest, offered him provisions and well wishes. Alden's faithful dog, Bramble, accompanied him, ready to face the unknown. As Alden and Bramble ventured deeper into the forest, they encountered various obstacles. They crossed a rickety bridge over a deep chasm, narrowly avoiding a fall into the abyss. They navigated through a dense thicket, where thorny vines seemed determined to block their path. One afternoon, they came across a group of forest creatures trapped in a hunter's net. Squirrels, rabbits, and birds all looked at Alden with pleading eyes. Without hesitation, Alden used his axe to carefully cut the net, freeing the creatures. They chittered and chirped their thanks, and a wise old owl approached him. "You have shown great kindness," the owl hooted. "Take this feather. It will guide you through the darkest paths." Alden accepted the feather gratefully and continued his journey. As night fell, Alden and Bramble made camp under a canopy of stars. Alden thought of his village, the faces of the people he loved, and the importance of his quest. He knew he had to succeed, not just for the fountain, but for the hope and joy it would bring to everyone. The next day, they reached the base of Mount Alicia. The mountain loomed high above them, its peak shrouded in mist. The climb was steep and treacherous, with loose rocks and narrow ledges. But Alden's resolve never wavered. Using the owl's feather as a guide, he found the safest paths and pressed on. Halfway up the mountain, they encountered a fearsome griffin with golden feathers and sharp claws. The griffin guarded the path, its eyes blazing with intensity. "Who dares to trespass on Mount Alicia?" it roared. Alden stepped forward, his voice steady. "I am Alden, a humble woodcutter on a quest to retrieve the crystal of eternal light. I seek it not for myself, but to restore the magic of the enchanted fountain and bring hope to my village." The griffin regarded him for a moment, then nodded. "Your heart is true, Alden. You may pass, but beware of the final trial that awaits you at the peak." With the griffin's warning in mind, Alden and Bramble continued their ascent. As they neared the summit, the air grew colder, and a sense of foreboding filled the air. At last, they reached the peak and saw the crystal of eternal light, glowing brilliantly atop a pedestal of ice. However, before Alden could approach the crystal, a fierce blizzard began to swirl around them. Out of the storm emerged a towering ice golem, its eyes gleaming with icy malice. "Only the worthy may claim the crystal," the golem rumbled. Alden knew he had to prove his worth. He stood tall and spoke with unwavering conviction. "I have come this far to bring hope and joy to my village. I have faced many challenges and shown kindness to all I met. I will not falter now." The ice golem's gaze softened, and the blizzard began to subside. "Your heart is pure, Alden. Take the crystal and fulfill your quest." With reverence, Alden approached the pedestal and gently took the crystal of eternal light. Its warmth spread through him, filling him with a sense of peace and fulfillment. He thanked the golem and began the journey back to the village. When Alden returned to the enchanted fountain, Lyria awaited him with a radiant smile. "You have succeeded, brave Alden," she said. "Place the crystal in the fountain, and its magic will be restored." Alden did as instructed, placing the crystal in the center of the fountain. Instantly, a burst of light enveloped the clearing, and the water began to sparkle with renewed magic. The fountain's glow spread throughout the forest, bringing life and vitality to every corner of the land. The villagers rejoiced as flowers bloomed, trees flourished, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of renewal. The enchanted fountain, now fully restored, continued to grant wishes to those pure of heart, bringing hope and joy to all. Alden returned to his humble life as a woodcutter, his heart forever touched by the adventure. He knew that true magic lay not just in enchanted crystals, but in the kindness and courage of ordinary people. And so, the village thrived under the watchful glow of the enchanted fountain, and the tale of Alden's bravery was passed down through generations. The land of Everwyn flourished, a testament to the power of selflessness and the enduring spirit of hope. And they all lived happily ever after. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in the tranquil kingdom of Everwood, there stood an ancient willow tree known as the Whispering Willow. The villagers believed that the tree had a magical power to grant wisdom to those who sought it with a pure heart. It was said that the tree would whisper secrets of the past and guidance for the future to those who truly listened. In the village of Willowbrook, there lived a young boy named Thomas. Thomas was known for his kind heart and his curious nature. He loved to explore the woods and often helped the villagers with their troubles. Despite his kindness, Thomas had always felt a deep sadness because his family had been struggling to find happiness since the passing of his older sister, Eliza, who had been dearly loved by everyone. One day, Thomas heard a story about the Whispering Willow and its magical abilities. Determined to find peace for his family and himself, Thomas decided to visit the tree and seek its wisdom. Early the next morning, armed with a small satchel of provisions and a heart full of hope, Thomas ventured into the forest. The path to the Whispering Willow was long and winding, but he followed the faint whispers of the wind that seemed to guide him. As he approached the ancient tree, its branches swayed gently in the breeze, and a soft, melodious hum filled the air. Thomas felt a sense of calm wash over him. He stood before the willow, its leaves shimmering in the dappled sunlight, and took a deep breath. "Whispering Willow," Thomas said with reverence, "I come seeking wisdom and guidance for my family. We have been in sorrow since the loss of my sister, Eliza. Please, help us find peace and joy once more." The Whispering Willow's branches rustled, and a soothing voice spoke from within the tree. "To find the peace you seek, you must first help others find their own. Only through acts of kindness and understanding can you heal your own heart." Thomas listened carefully and decided to follow the tree's advice. He began by helping the villagers in various ways, repairing broken fences, comforting those who were troubled, and sharing his time and kindness with everyone around him. His actions, though small, had a profound impact on the village. One day, while tending to the village's garden, Thomas discovered an old, overgrown plot of land that had once been the pride of Willowbrook. He decided to restore it, hoping it would bring joy to the villagers. With the help of his friends, he cleared the land, planted flowers, and built a beautiful gazebo in the center. As the garden bloomed and the gazebo stood proudly, the village began to flourish. The once somber atmosphere lifted, and the villagers' spirits brightened. They celebrated Thomas's efforts with gratitude and joy, and the village became a place of warmth and happiness once more. Thomas felt a deep sense of fulfillment as he saw the positive changes in his community. He returned to the Whispering Willow to thank it for the guidance it had given him. The tree's voice spoke again, "You have found the true meaning of wisdom by sharing your heart with others. Your family's happiness will return, for joy is not only found in receiving but also in giving." With renewed hope, Thomas returned home to find that his family had also been touched by the village's transformation. His parents, seeing the joy and love that surrounded them, felt their hearts healing. Though Eliza was no longer with them, her memory was honored through the happiness and kindness that had been rekindled in their lives. Thomas and his family lived happily in Willowbrook, their hearts forever touched by the Whispering Willow's wisdom. The ancient tree continued to stand tall, offering guidance and comfort to all who sought its counsel. And so, the village thrived, and the Whispering Willow remained a symbol of the magic that can be found in kindness, understanding, and the simple acts of helping one another. The end.
Once upon a time, in a quaint village called Meadow Brook, there lived a talented young artist named Lily. Lily loved to paint and dreamed of creating a masterpiece that would bring joy to everyone. She lived with her grandmother, who always encouraged her to follow her dreams. One day, while exploring the attic, Lily found an old, dusty paintbrush hidden inside a wooden box. As soon as she touched the paintbrush, it shimmered with a magical glow. Her grandmother explained that it was a legendary magic paintbrush, said to bring paintings to life. However, it had been lost for many years. Excited by the possibilities, Lily decided to test the magic paintbrush. She painted a beautiful garden filled with colorful flowers, towering trees, and sparkling streams. As she finished, the painting began to glow, and the scene started to come to life. To her amazement, she found herself standing in the very garden she had painted. The garden was more magnificent than she could have ever imagined. The flowers swayed as if dancing to a gentle melody, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming roses. Lily realized that she had the power to create magical worlds with her art. Lily explored the enchanted garden, marveling at the beauty and serenity of the place. She met a talking rabbit named Thistle, who guided her through the garden. Thistle explained that the garden was a magical realm created by the power of the paintbrush. It was a place where dreams came true, and the heart's deepest desires were fulfilled. As Lily wandered through the garden, she saw other creatures like talking birds, friendly deer, and mischievous fairies. They all welcomed her warmly and thanked her for bringing the garden to life once more. As the sun began to set, Thistle led Lily to the heart of the garden, where a majestic oak tree stood. Beneath the tree sat an old man with a long, flowing beard and wise, twinkling eyes. He was the guardian of the garden, a magical being who protected the enchanted realm. The guardian greeted Lily and told her about the paintbrush's true power. This brush can bring to life not just beauty, but also the desires and dreams of the painter. But beware, young artist, for with great power comes great responsibility. Use it wisely and with a pure heart. Inspired by the guardian's words, Lily made a wish to help her village. Meadowbrook had been suffering from a long drought, and their crops were failing. She painted a scene of her village surrounded by rain clouds, with rivers flowing and fields blooming with healthy crops. As she finished the painting, it glowed and transformed into reality. The skies over Meadowbrook darkened, and gentle rain began to fall. The villagers rejoiced as the rivers filled, and the crops started to grow. Lily's heart swelled with happiness, knowing she had helped her home. However, not all was well. A greedy and envious merchant named Vesper heard about Lily's magic paintbrush. He wanted the paintbrush for himself to create endless wealth and power. One night, he sneaked into Lily's home and stole the paintbrush while she slept. Vesper began to paint scenes of riches and palaces, but his greed twisted the magic. The paintings came to life, but they brought chaos and destruction. The enchanted garden turned dark and withered, and the magical creatures fled in fear. Desperate to save the enchanted garden and her village, Lily set out to confront Vesper. With the help of Thistle and the other magical creatures, she tracked him down to a cave filled with his monstrous creations. Lily bravely faced Vesper and demanded the return of the paintbrush. Vesper, consumed by his greed, refused and unleashed his twisted creations upon her. A fierce battle ensued, but Lily's pure heart and determination shone through. With the help of her friends, she managed to reclaim the paintbrush. Lily used the paintbrush to undo the damage caused by Vesper's greed. She painted scenes of peace and harmony, restoring the enchanted garden to its former glory. The magical creatures returned, and the garden flourished once more. The guardian of the garden appeared and praised Lily for her courage and wisdom. He bestowed upon her a special gift, the ability to paint without the need for the magic brush, for the true magic lay within her heart. With her newfound ability, Lily returned to Meadowbrook and continued to create beautiful art that brought joy and wonder to the villagers. She taught others to appreciate the beauty of nature and the importance of a pure heart. The story of Lily and the magic paintbrush spread far and wide, inspiring artists and dreamers across the land. The enchanted garden remained a place of magic and wonder, visited by those who believed in the power of dreams and the magic within. Lily grew old, but her spirit remained young and vibrant. She continued to paint and inspire generations. The paintbrush was passed down to worthy successors, who used it to create beauty and spread kindness. And so, the tale of the magic paintbrush and the enchanted garden lived on, a timeless story of courage, kindness, and the enduring power of a pure heart.
Once upon a time, in the heart of a quaint village nestled between rolling hills, there was a clockmaker named Tobias. Tobias was known for his skill in crafting the most intricate and beautiful clocks, each one more marvelous than the last. His workshop, filled with the rhythmic ticking of countless clocks, was a place of wonder and delight. One chilly winter's night, as Tobias was working on a particularly elaborate clock, a mysterious old woman appeared at his door. She was draped in a cloak of midnight blue, and her eyes sparkled like stars. In her hands, she held a delicate, silver pocket watch that seemed to glow faintly in the dim light of the workshop. "I have heard of your skill," the old woman said with a voice as smooth as velvet. "And I have a special request." Tobias, intrigued, invited her inside. The old woman explained that the pocket watch was no ordinary timepiece. It was a magical clock that could control the flow of time. However, it had been broken for centuries, and she needed Tobias's expertise to repair it. "The watch is enchanted," she said, "and it holds the power to alter time itself. It belongs to the timekeeper, a guardian of the time realms. It must be repaired before the next full moon, or the balance of time will be disrupted. Tobias, though unsure of the magic involved, agreed to take on the challenge. He carefully examined the pocket watch, noticing that it had intricate engravings of stars and constellations. As he worked, he felt a strange sensation, as if the very fabric of time was intertwined with the watch. Days passed, and Tobias worked tirelessly, his hands moving with practiced precision. He could feel the watch's magic guiding him, and with each adjustment, the faint glow of the watch grew brighter. The village buzzed with curiosity about the mysterious visitor and the extraordinary task Tobias was undertaking. As the full moon approached, Tobias completed his work. The pocket watch now ticked with a steady, harmonious rhythm, and its glow illuminated the workshop with a soft, golden light. The old woman returned, her eyes filled with gratitude and relief. "You have done it," she said. "The watch is now restored, and the balance of time is preserved. But there is one more thing." She opened the watch, revealing a hidden compartment. Inside was a tiny, shimmering star. "This star holds a piece of the timekeeper's essence," she explained. "I wish to give it to you as a token of appreciation for your bravery and skill." Tobias accepted the star, feeling its warmth and gentle energy. The old woman smiled and said, "With this star, you will always have a touch of magic in your life. And remember, time is precious, cherish every moment." With that, the old woman vanished into the night, leaving behind a sense of wonder and magic. Tobias kept the star safe in his workshop, and it became a symbol of his extraordinary adventure. As the years went by, Tobias's clocks continued to bring joy and wonder to the village, and he lived a fulfilling life. The star reminded him of the magical night and the lesson it carried, that time is a treasure, and the moments we cherish are what truly shape our lives. And so, the tale of the enchanted clockmaker and the magical pocket watch became a cherished story in the village, passed down through generations. The villagers remembered Tobias not only for his skill in crafting clocks but for his courage and the magic he brought into their lives. Once upon a time, in the vibrant kingdom of Sunspire, there was a hidden glen called the Grove of Echoes. This grove was known for its magical ability to reflect the true nature of anyone who visited. At the center of the grove stood an ancient oak tree with golden leaves that shimmered with an otherworldly light. Legend had it that the tree could reveal one's deepest desires and grant a single wish to someone who proved themselves worthy. In the neighboring village of Rosewood lived a young girl named Mira. Mira was known for her adventurous spirit and compassionate heart. Her closest friend was a small, clever fox named Fen, who had a talent for finding hidden paths and solving riddles. One day, as Mira and Fen wandered through the meadows, they came across an old, weathered map. The map depicted the way to the Grove of Echoes, and Mira's eyes sparkled with excitement. She had always dreamed of visiting the grove and discovering the truth behind its magic. Guided by the map, Mira and Fen set out on their journey. They walked through the lush forest, following the map's winding trails. As they approached the grove, they noticed a peculiar sign at the entrance. "Only those with pure hearts and true intentions may enter the Grove of Echoes. To reveal your deepest desire and earn the right to a single wish, you must complete 3 trials." Mira and Fen were eager to prove their worth. The first trial was the trial of reflection. They entered the grove and found themselves in a serene clearing where the ground was covered with sparkling stones. In the center of the clearing was a large, reflective pool. The pool's surface was perfectly still, and Mira was instructed to gaze into it to see her true self. As she peered into the water, her reflection began to shift, revealing not only her outer appearance but also her inner qualities, her courage, kindness, and resilience. Fen, too, saw a reflection of his cleverness and loyalty. The pool's reflection was a test of self-awareness and honesty. Mira and Fen both felt a deep sense of understanding and acceptance, which allowed them to proceed to the next trial. The second trial was the trial of harmony. They were led to a grove filled with beautiful, singing flowers. Each flower emitted a different musical note, creating a complex symphony. Mira and Fen needed to harmonize the notes to unlock the path to the next trial. Mira listened carefully to the melody and began to hum along, while Fen used his quick paws to adjust the flowers, ensuring each note was in harmony. Together, they created a beautiful and harmonious tune, which opened a hidden passage to the final trial. The last trial was the trial of compassion. They arrived at a quiet glen where a small, magical creature lay injured. It was a delicate sprite with shimmering wings, looking up at them with hopeful eyes. Mira and Fen gently tended to the sprite, using herbs from the surrounding forest to heal its wounds. Mira spoke soothingly to the sprite, while Fen collected nectar from nearby flowers to help restore its strength. The sprite, touched by their kindness, regained its vitality and fluttered its wings with gratitude. With all three trials completed, the ancient oak tree in the center of the Grove of Echoes began to glow with a radiant light. The golden leaves shimmered more brightly than ever before. Mira and Fen approached the tree, their hearts full of hope and wonder. The tree's voice spoke softly, "You have shown reflection, harmony, and compassion. Your hearts are true, and you have earned the right to make a single wish." Mira closed her eyes and made her wish. "I wish for the kingdom of Sunspire to always be filled with harmony, kindness, and joy, so that everyone may live in peace and happiness." The ancient oak tree's magic spread throughout the grove and beyond, bringing a renewed sense of joy and harmony to Sunspire. The kingdom flourished with happiness and unity, and the story of Mira and Fen's adventure became a beloved legend. And so, the Grove of Echoes continued to be a place where true hearts were tested and where the magic of compassion and harmony shone brightly under the golden leaves of the ancient oak. The end. In the kingdom of Eldoria, surrounded by rolling hills and lush meadows, there was a village renowned for its vibrant flowers and rich harvests. The village was protected by a grand castle where the royal family lived. The queen, known for her wisdom and kindness, had a daughter named Princess Lyra. Princess Lyra was loved by everyone for her gentle nature and curious spirit. One day, while exploring the castle grounds, Princess Lyra stumbled upon an old, ivy-covered door hidden behind a thicket of roses. The door was ornate and covered in intricate carvings of mythical creatures and flowers. Curiosity piqued, Lyra tried to open the door, but it was locked tight. Determined to discover what lay beyond, Lyra sought out the castle's elderly gardener, Old Man Bram. Bram had been tending to the castle's gardens for as long as anyone could remember. When Lyra asked him about the mysterious door, he looked at her with a wistful expression and said, "The door leads to the secret garden of Eldoria. A place of great magic and beauty. But it has been sealed for many years, and only a heart full of pure intentions can unlock it." Intrigued, Lyra decided she would unlock the door and uncover the secrets of the hidden garden. She spent her days learning about the garden's lore from Old Man Bram and reading ancient books in the castle's library. According to the legends, the secret garden held a powerful, ancient magic that could heal any ailment and bring peace to the land. One moonlit night, when the stars were especially bright, Lyra returned to the hidden door with a heart full of hope and a key she had found in an old chest. The key was said to be the one that could unlock the garden's magic. She gently inserted the key into the lock, and with a soft click, the door creaked open. Beyond the door was a breathtaking sight, a garden filled with luminous flowers of every color imaginable, trees that seemed to sing with the wind, and a crystal-clear pond that sparkled like diamonds. The air was filled with a sweet fragrance and the gentle hum of magic. As Lyra wandered through the garden, she noticed a small, withered tree in the center of the garden, its branches bare and its leaves fallen. She remembered the tales about a special flower that could revive even the most wilted plant. According to the legends, this flower was known as the Heart Blossom. Lyra searched the garden, her eyes scanning for the elusive Heart Blossom. After what felt like hours, she found it, a delicate flower with petals of shimmering gold, nestled among the vibrant blooms. She carefully picked the heart blossom and returned to the withered tree. Holding the flower close, Lyra whispered a heartfelt wish for the garden's revival. As she placed the heart blossom at the base of the tree, its petals began to glow with a warm, golden light. The tree's branches started to bud, and soon, it was covered in lush, green leaves and colorful flowers. the garden seemed to come alive, its magic restoring its former splendor. The garden's magic spread beyond its walls, reaching the village and healing the land. Crops flourished, the river ran clear, and the villagers were filled with joy and prosperity. Lyra's act of kindness and her pure heart had brought the garden's magic back to life. The secret garden of Eldoria became a cherished place where people would come to seek solace and inspiration. Princess Lyra continued to visit the garden, her heart always open to the magic and wonder it held. The village prospered under the renewed magic, and Lyra's story of bravery and kindness was passed down through generations. And so, in the kingdom of Eldoria, the secret garden remained a symbol of hope and renewal, forever nurtured by the love and purity of a princess's heart. Once upon a time, in a quaint village called Elmswood, nestled between rolling hills and ancient forests, lived a young girl named Clara. Clara was known for her bright smile and her adventurous spirit. Her favorite spot was the meadow beyond the village, where wildflowers grew in a riot of colors and butterflies danced in the warm sunlight. One day, while exploring the edge of the enchanted forest, Clara found a beautiful, shimmering feather. It was unlike any she had ever seen, with hues that shifted and sparkled in the light. She picked it up, feeling a strange warmth spread through her fingers. That evening, she showed the feather to her grandmother, an old woman with kind eyes and a heart full of stories. "Ah, Clara," her grandmother said, "this is no ordinary feather. It belongs to the phoenix of the enchanted forest, a mystical bird of great power and wisdom. Legend says that whoever finds a phoenix feather will be granted one wish, but only if they prove themselves worthy." Clara's eyes widened with excitement. "A wish? What must I do to prove myself?" Her grandmother smiled softly. "You must journey to the heart of the enchanted forest and find the phoenix. Along the way, you will face 3 trials that will test your courage, kindness, and wisdom. If you succeed, the phoenix will grant you your wish." Determined to bring prosperity to her village, which had suffered from poor harvests and harsh winters, Clara set out the next morning with the phoenix feather tucked safely in her satchel. As she entered the forest, the trees seemed to whisper secrets, and the air was thick with magic. She walked for hours, the light dimming as the canopy overhead grew denser. Eventually, she came to a clearing where a massive stone statue of a dragon stood. At its base was an inscription: "To pass the first trial, show bravery true, face the guardian of stone, it must be you." Clara took a deep breath and stepped forward. The statue's eyes glowed, and it came to life, towering over her with a roar. Summoning all her courage, Clara spoke clearly and firmly. "I am Clara of Elmswood, and I seek the phoenix to save my village. I have no weapon, but I have a brave heart." The stone dragon paused, then lowered its head in acknowledgement. "You have shown bravery," it rumbled. "You may pass." Relieved, Clara continued her journey. The forest grew darker, and the path became harder to follow. After a while, she encountered a stream with crystal-clear water. On the opposite bank stood a weeping willow tree, its branches drooping like a curtain. As Clara approached, she heard soft sobbing from the willow. "Who weeps so sorrowfully?" Clara called out. A face formed in the bark of the willow tree. "I weep for the creatures of the forest," it said. "They suffer from a blight that I cannot cure." Clara's heart ached at the willow's sorrow. She remembered the herbs her grandmother used to heal the sick. She found some nearby, crushed them into a paste, and gently applied it to the willow's roots. Slowly, the tree's leaves regained their green color, and the sobbing ceased. "Your kindness has healed me," the willow said. "You may pass." Clara smiled and thanked the willow before continuing on her way. The forest seemed to welcome her now, the path becoming easier to follow. Soon, she arrived at the base of a steep, rocky hill. At the top, she saw a cave entrance glowing with a golden light. As she climbed, she encountered an elderly man sitting on a rock, looking puzzled. "Good day, sir," Clara greeted him. "Why do you look troubled?" The old man sighed. "I have been trying to solve a riddle that guards the entrance to the Phoenix's cave, but I cannot figure it out." Clara sat beside him, and together they read the riddle inscribed on a nearby stone. I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. After a moment of thought, Clara smiled. It's an echo, she said. The old man's eyes lit up. Of course. Thank you, young one. As they approached the cave entrance, the light grew brighter, and they heard a melodious voice say, "You have shown wisdom. Enter, Clara of Elmswood." Inside the cave, the golden light intensified until it revealed a magnificent phoenix, its feathers blazing with 1,000 colors. The bird looked at Clara with eyes full of ancient wisdom. "You have proven yourself worthy," the phoenix said. "What is your wish?" Clara knelt before the phoenix. "Great Phoenix, I wish for my village to prosper and for our harvests to be bountiful so that no one will go hungry again." The phoenix nodded, a warm smile on its beak. "Your wish is noble and selfless. It shall be granted." With a flap of its mighty wings, the phoenix released a shower of golden sparks that filled the cave and enveloped Clara. When she opened her eyes, she found herself back at the edge of the forest, the phoenix feather still in her satchel, glowing faintly. As Clara returned to Elmswood, she saw that the village had already begun to change. The fields were lush and green, the river flowed clear and strong, and the villagers were healthy and happy. Her grandmother met her at the village gate, her eyes shining with pride. "You did it, Clara," she said. "You saved us all." From that day on, Elmswood flourished like never before. The villagers spoke of Clara's bravery, kindness, and wisdom, and her story was told for generations. And as for Clara, she continued to explore and seek out new adventures, her heart forever full of the magic of the enchanted forest. And so, the village lived happily ever after, forever grateful to the girl who dared to find the phoenix and bring its blessings to her home. Once upon a time, in a land far beyond the reaches of ordinary maps, there was a forgotten kingdom known as Luminera. This kingdom was hidden from the eyes of the world, shielded by a powerful enchantment. Its people lived in peace and prosperity, their lives illuminated by a magical silver mirror that hung in the grand hall of the castle. The mirror had the power to reveal the true nature of things and guide the kingdom's rulers with wisdom. However, one fateful night, a sorceress named Morgana, envious of Luminera's beauty and harmony, cast a dark spell over the kingdom. The silver mirror was stolen, and Luminera was plunged into darkness. Without the mirror's light, the kingdom's magic began to fade, and the once vibrant land became shrouded in mist and sorrow. In a small village at the edge of the enchanted forest, a young girl named Eloan lived. Eloan was known for her kind heart and adventurous spirit. She often heard tales of the lost kingdom and its magical mirror from the village elders, and she dreamed of restoring the kingdom to its former glory. One day, while exploring the forest, Eloan stumbled upon an ancient tree with a door carved into its trunk. Intrigued, she opened the door to find an old, dusty journal inside. The journal belonged to the last royal historian of Luminera, and it contained clues about the mirror's whereabouts and how to break the enchantment. Determined to help, Eloan took the journal to the village elder. After studying it carefully, the elder told her, to retrieve the silver mirror and restore Luminera, you must first find the 3 enchanted keys hidden throughout the land. These keys will unlock the path to the mirror and dispel Morgana's dark magic. Armed with the journal and a heart full of courage, Eloan set out on her quest. Her journey took her through lush meadows, over treacherous mountains, and into the depths of mysterious caves. The first key was hidden in the Whispering Grove, a forest where the trees could speak. There, Eloan met a wise old tree named Arboris. The tree spoke in riddles, and Eloan had to solve them to earn the first key. Arboris asked, "I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Eloan thought for a moment and replied, "Fire." Arboris's branches swayed in approval, and he handed her the first key, a delicate silver feather. Next, Eloan ventured to the crystal caverns, where the second key was said to be hidden. The caverns were filled with dazzling crystals that reflected light in every direction. There, she encountered a clever crystal dragon named Ignis. Ignis posed a challenge: to earn the second key, you must find the hidden crystal among the many. Only the one that shines with a pure light is the key you seek. Iloan carefully examined each crystal, guided by her intuition. After a long search, she found the one that glowed with a soft, warm light. Ignis, impressed by her perseverance and heart, gave her the second key, a radiant emerald. Finally, Iloan journeyed to the depths of the dark abyss, where the third key was concealed. The abyss was a treacherous place, filled with shadows and illusions. There, she encountered a gentle, glowing creature named Lumina. Lumina explained, to find the third key, you must face your deepest fear and overcome it with bravery and compassion. Iloan closed her eyes and faced her fears, of losing her way, of failing her quest. With each fear she confronted, she felt a surge of courage and resolve. When she opened her eyes, Lumina handed her the third key, a shimmering sapphire. With all three keys in hand, Iloan returned to the enchanted forest and found the entrance to Luminera, hidden behind an ancient veil of magic. She used the keys to unlock the path, revealing a hidden gateway that led to the heart of the kingdom. Inside, Iloan confronted Morgana, who had taken refuge in the grand hall where the silver mirror once hung. Morgana was surrounded by dark, swirling magic. Iloan, with the courage she had gained on her journey, faced the sorceress. The mirror belongs to the people of Luminera, Iloan declared. Its light must return to restore harmony and peace. Morgana, surprised by Iloan's bravery and sincerity, tried to resist but was ultimately overcome by the purity of her heart. The dark enchantments were lifted, and the silver mirror was restored to its rightful place. As the mirror's light spread across the kingdom, Luminera was bathed in a glorious, shimmering glow. The land returned to its former splendor, and the people celebrated the return of their magic. King Cedric, the rightful ruler of Luminera, thanked Iloan for her bravery and selflessness. As a token of their gratitude, he invited her to stay in the kingdom and offered her a place of honor. Iloan chose to return to her village, but she knew she would always be connected to the magic of Luminera. Her tale of courage and the restoration of the silver mirror became a cherished story in both her village and the restored kingdom. And so, the kingdom of Luminera thrived once more, its people living in joy and harmony, forever grateful to the brave girl who ventured into the unknown and brought back the light. The end. Once upon a time, in a peaceful kingdom surrounded by rolling hills and lush forests, there was a small village named Dreamhaven. The village was known for its enchanting beauty, with houses built from gingerbread and gardens filled with flowers that bloomed in every color of the rainbow. But the most magical feature of Dreamhaven was a grand, old oak tree in the village square, known as the Tree of Wishes. The Tree of Wishes was believed to hold a magical lantern that could grant a single wish to anyone who truly needed it. However, the lantern had been lost for many years, and the village had not seen its magic for quite some time. The villagers often spoke of how the lantern's light had once brought prosperity and happiness to Dreamhaven. One day, a young girl named Lila, known for her adventurous spirit and kind heart, overheard the villagers discussing their longing for the lantern's magic. She learned that the lantern had been hidden in a forgotten part of the enchanted forest, far beyond the boundaries of Dreamhaven. Determined to find the lantern and help her village, Lila decided to embark on a quest. With a small satchel filled with supplies and a map she had found in an old book, Lila set out into the enchanted forest. The forest was known for its magical creatures and mysterious paths, but Lila was not afraid. She followed the map's directions, winding her way through the towering trees and sparkling streams. As Lila ventured deeper into the forest, she encountered a friendly squirrel named Nutmeg who was busily gathering acorns. Nutmeg noticed Lila's determination and offered to help her find the lantern. "Follow the path of glowing mushrooms," Nutmeg said. "They will lead you to the ancient ruins where the lantern is hidden." Lila thanked Nutmeg and followed the glowing mushrooms that illuminated the path ahead. She soon arrived at the ancient ruins, where ivy-covered stone walls and crumbling columns stood as remnants of a long-lost civilization. In the center of the ruins was a large, ornate door covered in intricate carvings. The door had a riddle inscribed on it, which Lila needed to solve to gain entry. I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I? Lila thought carefully and answered, fire. The door creaked open, revealing a hidden chamber bathed in a soft, golden light. At the center of the chamber stood a pedestal with the long-lost lantern of dreams resting upon it. The lantern was covered in dust but still radiated a gentle glow. As Lila approached the lantern, a gentle voice echoed through the chamber. To claim the lantern, you must show a heart full of selflessness and courage. Lila placed her hand on the lantern and said, I wish to bring joy and prosperity back to my village, Dreamhaven. I want to help everyone in need. The lantern's light grew brighter, filling the chamber with a warm, magical glow. The gentle voice continued, you have shown great courage and selflessness. The lantern's magic will now return to your village. With the lantern in hand, Lila made her way back to Dreamhaven. The villagers gathered around as Lila presented the lantern. As she held it up, the lantern's light spread throughout the village, casting a beautiful, shimmering glow over every home and garden. The lantern's magic brought renewed joy and prosperity to Dreamhaven. Crops flourished, gardens bloomed with even more vibrant colors, and the villagers felt a deep sense of happiness and contentment. Lila's bravery and kindness became the stuff of legends in Dreamhaven. The village celebrated her return and the restoration of the Lantern of Dreams. From that day on, the lantern was kept in the Tree of Wishes, a symbol of the magic that exists in selflessness and the power of a single wish made with a pure heart. And so, Dreamhaven thrived under the enchantment of the lantern, and the story of Lila's quest was passed down through generations, reminding everyone that true magic lies in the willingness to help others. Once upon a time, in a land far beyond the reach of ordinary travelers, there existed an enchanted forest. This forest was unlike any other, filled with trees that sang melodies when the wind blew and flowers that glowed with the colors of the rainbow. The animals of the forest lived in harmony, guided by the wisdom of the great oak, an ancient tree whose roots held the secrets of the world. In this magical forest, there lived a brave little squirrel named Nutmeg. Nutmeg was known for his adventurous spirit and kind heart. He would often explore the deepest corners of the forest, always eager to discover something new and help his fellow creatures. One sunny morning, as Nutmeg was gathering acorns, he noticed something unusual. The singing trees had gone silent, and the glowing flowers had dimmed. The air felt heavy, and a sense of unease settled over the forest. Nutmeg decided to visit the great oak to seek its guidance. When Nutmeg reached the great oak, he found the wise tree looking worried. "Great oak, what is happening to our forest?" Nutmeg asked with concern. The great oak sighed deeply. "A dark spell has been cast upon the enchanted forest. The source of our magic, the crystal of light, has been stolen by the wicked sorcerer, Malakar. Without the crystal, our forest will wither and die." Determined to save his home, Nutmeg stood tall. "I will find Malakar and retrieve the crystal of light," he declared. The great oak nodded. "You are brave, Nutmeg. Take this enchanted acorn. It will protect you on your journey and guide you to the sorcerer's lair." With the enchanted acorn in his paw, Nutmeg set off on his quest. He traveled through the dense forest, across babbling brooks, and over steep hills. Along the way, he encountered many challenges but faced them all with courage and wit. One day, Nutmeg came across a wounded fox named Vixen. "Please help me," Vixen pleaded. "I was attacked by Malakar's shadow creatures." Nutmeg helped Vixen tend to her wounds, and in return, she offered to guide him to the sorcerer's lair. "Malakar's lair lies deep within the Shadow Valley," Vixen explained. "But beware, the valley is filled with dangerous traps and creatures." With Vixen's help, Nutmeg navigated the treacherous path to the Shadow Valley. They encountered fierce storms, towering cliffs, and eerie darkness, but Nutmeg's bravery and Vixen's knowledge kept them safe. Finally, they reached Malakar's lair, a dark and foreboding castle surrounded by thorny vines and guarded by shadow creatures. Nutmeg took a deep breath and whispered to the enchanted acorn, "Guide me to the crystal of light." The acorn glowed softly and pointed towards the castle's tallest tower. With Vixen by his side, Nutmeg sneaked past the shadow creatures and climbed the tower. At the top, they found a locked door with intricate carvings. "How will we get through?" Vixen asked. Nutmeg held the enchanted acorn to the door, and it began to glow brightly. The carvings on the door shifted and transformed into a keyhole. Nutmeg inserted the acorn, and the door swung open, revealing a shimmering crystal on a pedestal. "The crystal of light!" Nutmeg exclaimed. As he reached for it, Malachar appeared in a swirl of dark smoke. "Foolish creatures! You will never take the crystal from me," Malachar sneered. But Nutmeg was not afraid. He held the enchanted acorn tightly and faced the sorcerer. "Your dark magic cannot overpower the light of the forest," Nutmeg said boldly. With those words, the acorn shone with a blinding light, enveloping Malachar and dispelling his dark magic. The sorcerer screamed and vanished into the shadows, defeated. Nutmeg carefully took the crystal of light and thanked the acorn for its help. Together with Vixen, he returned to the enchanted forest, where the great oak and the other creatures awaited anxiously. When Nutmeg placed the crystal back in its rightful place, the forest came alive once more. The trees sang, the flowers glowed, and the air was filled with joy and harmony. The great oak smiled down at Nutmeg. "You have saved us all, brave Nutmeg. Your courage and kindness will be remembered forever." From that day on, Nutmeg was celebrated as a hero in the enchanted forest. He continued to explore and help his fellow creatures, always carrying the enchanted acorn as a reminder of his incredible journey in the power of bravery and light. And so, the enchanted forest thrived in peace and magic, thanks to the brave little squirrel who believed in the power of goodness and never gave up. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a kingdom surrounded by rolling hills and blooming meadows, there was a hidden garden known only to a few. This garden, known as the Enchanted Garden, was said to be filled with magical flowers that had the power to grant wishes. It was protected by a wise old fairy named Seraphina, who tended to the garden's wonders with great care. In a nearby village lived a young girl named Alina. Alina was kind and gentle, with a deep love for nature. She often dreamed of finding the enchanted garden, but it was said that only those with a true heart and a noble wish could enter. One day, as Alina was wandering through the forest collecting wildflowers, she stumbled upon a beautiful, silver key half buried in the soft earth. The key shimmered in the sunlight, and Alina felt a sense of wonder as she picked it up. As she examined the key, a soft voice whispered through the trees, "That key will lead you to the enchanted garden. But to enter, you must first prove your heart is true." Excited by the discovery, Alina followed the voice, which guided her deeper into the forest. After a while, she reached a hidden door covered in ivy and moss. With a trembling hand, Alina inserted the silver key into the lock and turned it. The door creaked open to reveal a breathtaking garden bathed in moonlight. The enchanted garden was more magnificent than Alina had ever imagined. Flowers of every color and shape glowed softly, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming roses. At the center of the garden stood a single, moonlit rose on a pedestal. Its petals shimmered like silver, and its fragrance was enchanting. As Alina approached the rose, Seraphina, the wise old fairy, appeared in a swirl of sparkling light. "Welcome, Alina," Seraphina said with a warm smile. "You have shown great courage and kindness to find this place. What is your wish?" Alina thought carefully. She had always wanted to help her village, which had recently suffered from a long drought. The crops were failing, and the villagers were worried. With a determined heart, Alina said, "I wish for my village to have plenty of water and fertile land, so the crops can grow and the villagers can thrive." Seraphina nodded, her eyes twinkling with approval. "Your wish is noble and selfless. To grant it, we must first ask for the moon's blessing." With a wave of her wand, Seraphina summoned a gentle, glowing mist that surrounded the moonlit rose. The rose's petals opened, revealing a crystal at its center. The crystal began to glow brightly, and a soft, melodic hum filled the air. Alina watched in awe as the crystal's light grew stronger. The mist swirled around the garden, and the petals of the moonlit rose started to drift away like falling stars. The fairy's magic touched every corner of the garden, and the energy of the wish began to spread. "Now, we must send the magic to your village," Serafina explained. "Hold the rose tightly and think of your village with all your heart." Alina carefully took the moonlit rose in her hands and closed her eyes. She imagined the fields filled with golden crops, the villagers smiling and working together, and the clear, flowing streams that would bring life to the land. As she focused on her wish, a brilliant beam of light shot from the rose, piercing the night sky. The light traveled across the land, reaching Alina's village. When the light touched the village, the skies opened up, and rain began to fall gently upon the parched earth. The fields soaked up the water, and the streams began to flow once more. When Alina returned to her village, she was greeted with cheers and tears of joy. The once dry fields were now lush and green, and the villagers rejoiced at the return of their water supply. The village was thriving, and Alina's selfless wish had brought hope and prosperity to everyone. Alina never forgot the enchanted garden and the moonlit rose that had made her wish come true. She continued to care for her village with the same kindness and love she had shown in her wish. And every night, she would look up at the moon, knowing that the magic of the enchanted garden was watching over her. As for the enchanted garden, it remained a place of wonder, waiting for the next kind-hearted soul to discover its secrets and make a wish with a true heart. And so, under the moonlit sky, Alina and her village lived happily ever after, their dreams blooming as brightly as the magical flowers in the enchanted garden. The end.
In the heart of the kingdom of Serenia, there was a magical garden known as the Moonlit Garden. This garden, hidden away from the eyes of the world, bloomed only under the light of the full moon. It was said that within its gates lay a hidden treasure that could grant the purest of wishes. Alara, a young woman with a deep sense of wonder and a kind heart, lived in a nearby village. She had heard tales of the Moonlit Garden from her grandmother, who had once spoken of a nightingale that sang melodies to bring joy and healing to those in need. The village had recently fallen into despair due to a terrible illness spreading among the people. Alara decided to find the Moonlit Garden, hoping its treasure might heal her village. Alara began her journey through the enchanted forest, a place where the trees whispered secrets and the air shimmered with magic. The forest was known for its bewildering paths and curious creatures. As Alara walked, she found herself at a crossroad guarded by a gentle fawn with large, intelligent eyes. "Greetings, traveler," said the fawn. "To find the Moonlit Garden, you must first solve the riddle of the forest. Only then will you find the path." The fawn presented her with a riddle. "I speak without a voice, but hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I?" Alara thought carefully and replied, "An echo." The fawn nodded and pointed her toward a hidden path illuminated by glowing fireflies. Following the path, Alara arrived at a tranquil pond surrounded by willows that swayed gently in the breeze. At the edge of the pond, she saw a silver fish swimming in the moonlight. The fish spoke softly. "To proceed, you must show compassion. A single tear of kindness will unlock the way forward." Alara looked around and noticed a small, injured bird perched on a nearby branch. Its wing was bent, and it chirped weakly. With great care, Alara tended to the bird, soothing it and wrapping its wing with a leaf. As she did so, her heartfelt tears fell gently onto the pond's surface. The pond's water began to glow, and a bridge of moonlight appeared, leading her to the next part of her journey. Alara crossed the bridge and found herself at the base of the Mountain of Stars, a peak that sparkled with celestial light. To reach the top, she had to navigate a steep and winding trail. Along the way, she encountered a wise old owl perched on a stone. "You seek the Moonlit Garden," the owl hooted. "But first, you must climb the mountain and face the guardian of the night." With determination, Alara climbed the mountain, her eyes focused on the shimmering peak. As she reached the top, she saw a grand archway with a guardian, a majestic stag with antlers like silver branches. The stag spoke in a deep, resonant voice, to pass, you must share a story that reveals the strength of your heart. Alara took a deep breath and recounted the tale of her village's struggles and her journey to find the moonlit garden. She spoke of her desire to help those in need and the kindness she had shown along the way. The stag listened intently, and with a nod of approval, he stepped aside, allowing her to enter the archway. As Alara walked through the archway, she was greeted by the breathtaking sight of the moonlit garden. The garden was filled with flowers that glowed with moonlight, and the air was filled with the soft, enchanting song of the nightingale. In the center of the garden stood a shimmering fountain with crystal-clear water. The nightingale perched on a branch and sang a melody that resonated with warmth and hope. Its song was so beautiful that it brought tears to Alara's eyes. As she approached the fountain, a soft voice spoke from the water, "You have proven your heart's worthiness. Make your wish, and it shall be granted." Alara closed her eyes and wished for her village to be healed and for the illness to vanish. The fountain's water sparkled brightly, and a gentle mist enveloped the garden. When Alara returned to her village, she found that the illness had miraculously vanished. The people were healthy, and the village was bustling with joy and relief. The flowers in the village bloomed as if touched by the magic of the moonlit garden. The villagers celebrated Alara's bravery and kindness, grateful for the miracle that had saved them. The tale of her journey spread far and wide, inspiring others to seek out their own paths of courage and compassion. The moonlit garden continued to bloom under the full moon, its magic a testament to the power of pure intentions and heartfelt wishes. The nightingale remained in the garden, singing its melodies for all who sought solace and hope. Alara's story became a cherished legend in Serenia, reminding everyone that true magic lies in the strength of one's heart and the willingness to help others. The moonlit garden and its secrets were passed down through generations, a beacon of hope and a reminder of the beauty found in kindness and bravery.
Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between towering mountains, there was a young girl named Mira. Mira was known for her adventurous spirit and her fascination with the mysteries of nature. The villagers often spoke of an ancient tale about a hidden crystal cavern deep within the mountains, said to be filled with magical crystals that granted extraordinary powers. Mira's curiosity about the cavern was unquenchable. She dreamed of discovering its secrets and perhaps finding a way to help her village, which had been struggling with a long-lasting drought. Despite the villagers' warnings about the dangers of venturing into the mountains, Mira felt a deep sense of determination. One crisp morning, as the first light of dawn broke over the mountains, Mira set out on her journey. She carried a small satchel with essential supplies, a map she had drawn from old tales, some food, and a sturdy walking stick. The journey to the cavern was said to be treacherous, filled with natural obstacles and magical creatures. As Mira ascended the rugged mountain paths, she encountered her first challenge, a deep, narrow gorge with a swirling river below. The only way across was a rickety bridge made of vines and wooden planks. Mira's heart raced as she stepped onto the bridge, which swayed dangerously with each step. She took a deep breath, focused on her goal, and carefully made her way across, her courage guiding her safely to the other side. Further along the path, Mira came upon a dense forest with trees that seemed to whisper secrets. The forest was known to be enchanted, and Mira had to solve a riddle to find the correct path. The trees murmured, "To find the way, listen well, the path you seek is where the shadows dwell." Mira noticed the shadows of the trees forming a distinct pattern on the ground. She followed the pattern, which led her to a hidden pathway illuminated by soft, glowing mushrooms. After several days of travel, Mira arrived at the entrance to the crystal cavern. The cavern was hidden behind a curtain of cascading water that sparkled like diamonds in the sunlight. With a mix of excitement and trepidation, Mira stepped through the waterfall and entered the cavern. Inside, the cavern was a breathtaking sight. Crystals of every color imaginable adorned the walls, emitting a soft, mesmerizing glow. The air was filled with a sweet, melodious hum, as if the crystals themselves were singing. Mira marveled at the beauty and stepped cautiously further into the cavern. At the heart of the cavern stood a large, glowing crystal known as the Heart of the Mountain. According to the legends, this crystal held the power to end the drought that plagued the village. However, the heart of the mountain was guarded by a wise and ancient dragon named Orion. The dragon's scales shone like the crystals, and his eyes glinted with both wisdom and a hint of sadness. Orion greeted Mira with a deep, rumbling voice. "Welcome, brave traveler. You have come seeking the heart of the mountain. To earn its power, you must prove your worth." Mira nodded, determined to fulfill her quest. "What must I do?" Orion explained that Mira needed to complete 3 tasks to show her true intentions and purity of heart. Task 1, the trial of purity. The first task was to retrieve a crystal from a submerged pool within the cavern, where the waters were enchanted to test the purity of her heart. Mira swam to the depths of the pool, feeling the cool, magical water around her. She found the crystal nestled among the rocks, glowing with a soft, warm light. Her intent was pure, and she returned to Orion with the crystal, passing the trial. Task 2, the trial of wisdom. The second task required Mira to solve a complex puzzle formed by shifting crystal patterns on the cavern floor. The puzzle solution revealed a hidden passage. Mira studied the patterns and, using her knowledge of the legends and her intuition, solved the puzzle, revealing the way to the next chamber. Task 3, the trial of compassion. For the final task, Orion asked Mira to use the heart of the mountain's power to heal a wounded magical creature in the cavern, a young phoenix whose fiery feathers were dimmed by a dark spell. Mira approached the phoenix with empathy and care, using her hands to channel the energy of the heart of the mountain. The phoenix's feathers brightened, and it regained its strength and vitality. Having completed all 3 tasks, Mira had demonstrated her courage, wisdom, and compassion. Orion, moved by her sincerity and selflessness, allowed her to take a shard of the heart of the mountain. With the shard in hand, Mira journeyed back to her village. As she approached, the once dry land began to change. The shard's magic worked wonders, bringing life-giving water to the parched earth. The rivers and streams flowed again, and the fields bloomed with vibrant crops. The villagers rejoiced, celebrating Mira's bravery and the return of prosperity. Mira's adventure became a cherished tale in the village, a story of courage, wisdom, and compassion that inspired future generations. As for Mira, she often returned to the mountains, not only to visit Orion but also to share the magic of the crystal cavern with those in need. The heart of the mountain's power lived on, reminding everyone of the magic that resides within acts of kindness and the strength of a pure heart. And so, under the nurturing rain and the blossoming fields, the village thrived, and Mira's legacy of bravery and wisdom continued to shine brightly. The end. In the heart of a quaint, timeless village surrounded by rolling hills and misty forests, there was a small, charming clock shop known as the Enchanted Timepiece. The shop was run by an elderly clockmaker named Master Horace, whose reputation for creating magnificent clocks was known far and wide. Each clock he crafted had a touch of magic, ensuring that time seemed to flow just a little more smoothly around them. Master Horace had an apprentice named Theo, a bright and eager young man with a deep fascination for clockwork and a boundless curiosity. Theo admired Master Horace immensely and spent his days learning the intricate art of clockmaking. He was especially drawn to an old, mysterious clock in the shop's backroom, covered in dust and forgotten for years. It was an elaborate grandfather clock with intricate carvings of stars and moons and a peculiar inscription on its face: "When the moon's light dances, a secret shall be unveiled." One evening, as the full moon cast its silvery glow over the village, Master Horace entrusted Theo with a special task. "Tonight is the night of the moon's dance," Master Horace said, his eyes twinkling with a hint of mischief. "I need you to prepare the shop for the festival, but remember, the grandfather clock in the backroom is special. Its magic can only be awakened during the moon's dance. Pay attention to the moonlight." Theo eagerly agreed, and as the moonlight poured into the shop, he busied himself with preparations. When he finished, he couldn't resist the temptation to examine the old grandfather clock more closely. As the moonlight streamed through the shop's windows, it illuminated the clock's carvings in a mesmerizing dance of light and shadow. Theo noticed something extraordinary. The moonlight seemed to weave patterns on the clock's surface, making the stars and moons appear to shimmer and shift. Curiosity piqued, Theo carefully adjusted the clock's hands to match the phases of the moon, as indicated on the inscription. As the moonlight reached its peak, the clock's face began to glow softly. Theo's heart raced with excitement as he heard a faint, melodious chime emanate from the clock. He watched in awe as the clock's hands moved on their own, aligning with the intricate carvings, and a hidden compartment slowly revealed itself. Inside the compartment was a delicate silver key and a scroll tied with a golden ribbon. Theo unrolled the scroll, which read, "To find the heart of the clock, seek the moon's reflection where shadows lie. The key shall guide you to where secrets hide." Following the scroll's instructions, Theo carried the silver key and ventured outside into the moonlit night. He walked to the edge of the village, where a small, ancient stone bridge spanned a gentle stream. The moon's reflection danced upon the water, casting delicate shadows on the bridge's surface. Theo noticed a peculiar pattern of shadows and reflections on the bridge that seemed to match the carvings on the grandfather clock. With a sense of wonder, he carefully placed the silver key into a hidden keyhole he discovered in the stone. As he turned the key, a hidden panel in the bridge opened, revealing a small, hidden chamber beneath. Inside the chamber was a beautifully crafted golden heart-shaped locket. Theo carefully lifted the locket and felt a surge of warmth and light. The locket contained a tiny, enchanted clock that seemed to beat with a gentle, rhythmic pulse. As Theo held the locket, he felt a deep sense of calm and understanding. The locket's magic was not only about time but also about the harmony between moments and memories. It was a reminder that time, though fleeting, could be cherished and savored. Theo returned to the shop with the locket and showed Master Horace. The old clockmaker's eyes widened with pride and joy. "You have unlocked the true magic of the grandfather clock," Master Horace said, his voice filled with emotion. "The locket represents the heart of time, a symbol of the beauty and harmony that time can bring to our lives." With the discovery of the locket, Theo and Master Horace crafted a special clock to commemorate the moon's dance festival, incorporating the locket's magic into its design. The clock became a cherished centerpiece of the festival, symbolizing the timeless bond between moments and memories. Theo's understanding of clockmaking deepened, and he continued to create wondrous timepieces that captured the essence of the world's beauty and magic. The village celebrated the moon's dance festival every year, honoring the enchanted clock and the apprentice who unlocked its secret. And so, the legacy of the clockmaker's apprentice lived on, reminding everyone that time, with all its mysteries and magic, could be a source of wonder and joy, and that the heart of time beat within the moments we cherished most. Once upon a time, in the vibrant kingdom of Zephyr, there was a magical park known as the Garden of Wonders. This park was renowned for its breathtaking carousel, which was said to possess the power to transport those who rode it to the realm of their dreams. The carousel, adorned with intricately carved animals and glowing lights, could only be activated on the rarest of nights, the night of the aurora, when the sky danced with shimmering northern lights. In the heart of Zephyr, in a cozy little house at the edge of town, lived a kind and imaginative girl named Luna. Luna loved stories and adventures, and her greatest wish was to experience a grand adventure of her own. Her faithful companion was a clever, chatty raccoon named Pip, who had an eye for hidden treasures and a knack for solving riddles. One evening, as the night of the aurora approached, Luna and Pip discovered an old, beautifully crafted map tucked away in an old storybook on Luna's bookshelf. The map was marked with a golden X and had a note that read, "To find the enchanted carousel, follow the map under the night of the aurora, and your dreams will come alive." Excited by the prospect of an adventure, Luna and Pip set out to find the enchanted carousel. The path to the Garden of Wonders was bathed in the mesmerizing colors of the northern lights, which illuminated their way with a soft, enchanting glow. As they arrived at the entrance to the Garden of Wonders, they found it guarded by 3 magical gates, each requiring a unique challenge to pass. The first gate was the Gate of Echoes. This gate was adorned with glowing constellations and required them to answer a riddle. A gentle, sparkling voice from the gate asked, "I have cities, but no houses. I have mountains, but no trees. I have water, but no fish. What am I? Luna thought for a moment and then answered, a map. The gate's constellations shimmered brightly, and the gate slowly opened, allowing them to pass. Beyond the Gate of Echoes, they encountered the second challenge, the Bridge of Reflections. This was a bridge made of crystal that spanned across a shimmering pond. The reflections on the bridge were constantly shifting, and they had to find the right reflection to cross safely. Pip used his sharp eyes to study the reflections, while Luna carefully followed his directions. They found the correct reflection and crossed the bridge, which glowed warmly as they walked. Finally, they reached the last challenge, the Maze of Whispers. In this maze, the walls were lined with whispering vines that spoke in riddles. To find their way through, they needed to listen carefully and follow the correct whispers. Luna and Pip worked together, with Pip's keen hearing guiding them through the maze. They listened to the whispers and followed the right path until they emerged into the heart of the Garden of Wonders. There, bathed in the magical light of the northern lights, stood the magnificent enchanted carousel. The carousel was adorned with golden lights and exquisite carvings of mythical creatures. Luna and Pip approached the carousel with awe, knowing that their adventure was about to begin. To activate the carousel, they needed to climb onto the animals and speak their greatest wish aloud. Luna and Pip chose their favorite animals, a graceful unicorn and a swift dragon, and climbed onto them. With the northern lights sparkling above, Luna spoke her wish with a heart full of hope. I wish for an adventure that will take us to the realm of our dreams, where we can experience magic and wonder. As Luna's wish was spoken, the enchanted carousel began to spin gently, and the world around them transformed into a dazzling, dreamlike realm filled with fantastical creatures and incredible landscapes. They soared through enchanted forests, flew over shimmering lakes, and explored magical castles, all under the glow of the northern lights. When the carousel finally came to a stop, Luna and Pip found themselves back at the Garden of Wonders, their hearts filled with joy and wonder. They had experienced an adventure beyond their wildest dreams, and they knew that the magic of the enchanted carousel would always be a cherished memory. The story of Luna and Pip's adventure in the magic of the enchanted carousel became a beloved tale in Zephyr, reminding everyone of the power of dreams, imagination, and the magic that lies within their hearts. And so, the Garden of Wonders remained a place of enchantment, where dreams and adventures came to life under the light of the northern lights. The end. The tale of the Dreamweaver's lantern. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and a sprawling forest, there was a legend about a magical lantern known as the Dreamweaver's lantern. The lantern was said to hold the power to bring dreams to life and to make the deepest wishes of those with pure hearts come true. But the lantern had been lost for generations, and many had given up hope of ever finding it. In this village lived a young girl named Lily, known for her boundless imagination and her love of storytelling. She would often sit by the village's ancient oak tree, spinning tales of adventure and wonder for anyone who would listen. Lily had always dreamed of finding the Dreamweaver's lantern and using its magic to help her village, which had been struggling with a long drought that had left the fields barren. One starry night, as Lily gazed at the twinkling sky, she saw a shooting star streak across the heavens. With a hopeful heart, she made a wish that she could find the Dreamweaver's lantern and bring prosperity to her village. As the star faded, she felt a strange sensation as if the air around her was shimmering with possibility. The next morning, Lily found the small, ornate box at the base of the ancient oak tree. The box was covered in intricate carvings of stars and moons and had a delicate silver key hanging from a tiny hook. Inside the box was a parchment with a map and a note that read, "To find the Dreamweaver's lantern, follow the path of stars and trust in the magic of your heart." Excited and determined, Lily set out on her journey. Following the map, she ventured into the forest, where the path was lined with glowing stones that seemed to light up as she walked. As the sun set and the forest grew darker, the stones began to twinkle like stars, guiding her deeper into the woods. After hours of walking, Lily arrived at a hidden clearing bathed in moonlight. In the center of the clearing stood a magnificent tree with silver leaves and branches that sparkled like diamonds. At the base of the tree was a pedestal, and on the pedestal rested the Dreamweaver's lantern, glowing softly with an ethereal light. Lily approached the lantern with reverence. She carefully unlocked the lantern using the key from the box. As the lantern opened, a soft, golden light spilled out, and a gentle voice filled the air. "Welcome, Lily. You have found the Dreamweaver's lantern, a symbol of hope and magic. Your heart's wish shall be granted, but remember, true magic comes from within." Lily looked at the lantern, her heart swelling with emotion. "I wish for my village to be blessed with rain so that the fields may flourish and our people may be happy once more." The lantern's light grew brighter, and Lily felt a warm breeze enveloping her. She watched in awe as the light from the lantern spread out over the forest, transforming into a shimmering cloud that drifted towards the village. Lily made her way back to the village, her heart full of hope. As she arrived, she saw the first drops of rain beginning to fall from the cloud. The rain was gentle but steady, soaking into the parched earth and bringing life back to the fields. The villagers gathered, amazed at the sudden change in their fortunes. The once barren fields began to turn green, and the joy of the village was palpable. Lily was celebrated as a hero, but she humbly told everyone about the Dreamweaver's lantern and the magic it had brought. She reminded them that while the lantern had played a part, it was their own hope and unity that had truly made the difference. As the rain continued to nourish the land, Lily kept the lantern safe and cherished its lessons. The village thrived, and the story of Lily in the Dreamweaver's lantern became a cherished tale, passed down through generations. It served as a reminder that magic was not just in enchanted objects, but in the dreams, wishes, and efforts of those who dared to believe in them. And so, the village prospered, and Lily's name was forever remembered as a symbol of hope and magic, reminding everyone that even the smallest light can illuminate the darkest of times. And they all lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed this fairy tale. Once upon a time, in the charming kingdom of Starlight, there was a meadow known as Starfall Meadow, a place of breathtaking beauty where the grass shimmered like stars and the flowers glowed with an otherworldly light. This meadow was rumored to hold a magical secret, one that had eluded the people of Starlight for generations. The meadow was guarded by an old oak tree named Elder Willow, who had stood in its center for centuries. Elder Willow had seen countless sunsets and was said to be wise beyond measure, but he rarely spoke, and his secrets remained hidden. The villagers often came to the edge of the meadow, hoping to glimpse its wonders, but they were never able to uncover the meadow's true magic. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the meadow began to glow softly, a curious young girl named Lyra wandered into Starfall Meadow. Lyra was known for her adventurous spirit and her love of stories and legends. She had heard tales of the meadow's magic and was determined to uncover its mystery. The mysterious meeting. As Lyra stepped into the meadow, she was greeted by a gentle breeze that carried a faint melody. She followed the sound to Elder Willow, who, despite his age, had a kind and welcoming aura. To her surprise, Elder Willow spoke to her in a deep, resonant voice. "Welcome, young Lyra," he said. "I have been waiting for someone with a pure heart and a brave spirit to discover the secret of Starfall Meadow. Are you ready for a journey?" Lyra nodded eagerly. "I am ready, Elder Willow. Tell me what I must do." "The first task, the enchanted lantern." Elder Willow explained that the secret of the meadow was guarded by 3 magical tasks. The first task required Lyra to find an enchanted lantern hidden somewhere in the meadow. The lantern had the power to reveal hidden paths when its light was ignited. "Search the meadow and listen for the whispers of the flowers," Elder Willow instructed. "They will guide you to the lantern." Lyra wandered through the meadow, listening to the soft rustling of the flowers. She followed their whispers until she found a small, ornate lantern partially buried in the grass. As she picked it up, the lantern began to glow with a warm, golden light, illuminating a hidden path leading deeper into the meadow. The second task, the crystal fountain. The path led Lyra to a sparkling fountain made of crystal, its waters shimmering with hues of blue and green. At the edge of the fountain stood a wise old frog named Ferdinand, who guarded the second task. To proceed, Ferdinand croaked, "You must restore the magic of the fountain. This can be done by finding 3 hidden gems that have been scattered around." Lyra searched the area, carefully examining the surroundings. She found the first gem nestled among the reeds, the second hidden beneath a large leaf, and the third tucked away inside a small hollow in the fountain. As she placed each gem back into the fountain, the waters began to sparkle even more brightly, and Ferdinand rewarded her with a key made of crystal. The final task, the celestial tree. With the key in hand, Lyra continued her journey, following the glowing path until she reached the celestial tree, a majestic tree that seemed to touch the stars. Its branches were adorned with glowing orbs that floated gently in the air. The celestial tree spoke in a melodic voice, "To reveal the secret of Starfall Meadow, you must unlock the magic of the orbs. Each orb represents a virtue, hope, courage, and love. Place the key into the orb that corresponds to the virtue that resonates most with your heart." Lyra looked at the orbs, each glowing with a different light. She thought deeply about her own journey and the virtues she had encountered. Finally, she chose the orb of hope, believing it to be the key to unlocking the meadow's secret. As she inserted the key into the orb, the celestial tree's branches shimmered, and the orbs converged to form a brilliant constellation in the sky. The meadow itself seemed to breathe with life as a soft, ethereal glow enveloped the entire area. The secret revealed. With the completion of the tasks, the magic of Starfall Meadow was revealed. The meadow was not only a place of beauty but also a source of profound wisdom and strength. The true magic lay in the virtues of hope, courage, and love, qualities that had guided Lyra on her journey. Elder Willow spoke once more, "The secret of Starfall Meadow is not just the magic you see, but the magic within you. By embodying hope, courage, and love, you have unlocked the true essence of the meadow." Lyra felt a deep sense of fulfillment and joy. She thanked Elder Willow and the celestial tree, knowing that the meadow's magic would continue to inspire and guide her. As Lyra left Starfall Meadow, she carried with her the wisdom she had gained and the understanding that the true magic of the world lies in the virtues we hold dear. She returned to her village, where she shared her story, and the legend of Starfall Meadow grew, reminding all who heard it of the power of hope, courage, and love. And so, the magical meadow continued to glow softly under the starlit sky, a beacon of inspiration for all who sought its wonders. Once upon a time, in the mystical kingdom of Celera, there was a majestic castle nestled atop a hill, surrounded by a forest of towering, ancient trees. This castle was ruled by Queen Alara, known for her wisdom and kindness. The heart of the kingdom's magic was a stunning crown known as the Moonstone Crown, which bestowed peace and prosperity upon the land. The Moonstone Crown was said to have been created by the moon goddess herself and was adorned with a single moonstone that glowed with a soft, silvery light. It was a symbol of the queen's connection to the moon's magic and her duty to protect the realm. One night, as the moon cast its gentle glow over the kingdom, an unexpected storm rolled in, bringing with it dark clouds and fierce winds. When the storm subsided, the Moonstone Crown was missing. The kingdom was plunged into confusion and despair, and Queen Alara was deeply troubled. She knew that without the crown, the kingdom's magic would wane, and darkness might spread. In the castle, there lived a young, brave girl named Leora, who was the daughter of the castle's head gardener. Leora was known for her adventurous spirit and her love for the moon. She had always felt a deep connection to the crown and its magic. Determined to find it, Leora approached Queen Alara and offered to embark on a quest to retrieve the crown. Queen Alara, though hesitant, saw the determination in Leora's eyes and agreed to let her try. "You must journey through the Whispering Woods, cross the Cursed River, and reach the Dark Fortress. Only there will you find clues to the crown's whereabouts. But be wary, for the path is fraught with danger." With her faithful dog, Pippin, by her side, Leora set off at dawn. The Whispering Woods were known for their enchantments and illusions. As she ventured deeper into the woods, she encountered a mischievous fox named Felix, who offered to help her find her way. To find the Moonstone Crown, Felix said, "You must first solve my riddle." Felix's riddle was, "I can fly without wings. I can cry without eyes. Wherever I go, darkness flies. What am I?" Leora thought carefully and answered, "A cloud." Felix nodded approvingly. "You have answered correctly. Follow the path illuminated by the fireflies. They will guide you to the Cursed River. Following Felix's advice, Leora and Pippin made their way through the woods and arrived at the cursed river. The river was wide and its waters were dark and foreboding. To cross it, they needed to find a way past the river's treacherous currents. At the river's edge, Leora met a wise old turtle named Tiberius. Tiberius offered to help them cross in exchange for a promise. To cross, you must answer this question: what is the most powerful force in the world? Leora thought deeply and replied, the most powerful force in the world is love. Tiberius smiled and nodded. You may cross. I will use my magic to guide you safely. With Tiberius's help, Leora and Pippin crossed the river and continued their journey toward the dark fortress. The fortress was a looming structure surrounded by swirling mists and guarded by fearsome creatures. Leora approached cautiously, her heart pounding. Inside the fortress, they encountered a dark sorcerer named Malvian, who had stolen the Moonstone Crown. He was using its magic to amplify his own dark powers. Malvian confronted Leora with a sinister grin. You've come for the crown, haven't you? But it is mine now, and it will make me invincible. Leora, though frightened, stood tall. The crown belongs to the kingdom of Celera. It is a symbol of peace and prosperity, not for selfish gain. Malvian laughed and raised his hands to cast a spell. But Pippin, with his keen senses, distracted the sorcerer by barking loudly, giving Leora the chance to act. Leora noticed a reflection of the moonstone in a nearby pool of water and remembered something she had read about moon magic. With quick thinking, Leora used a shard of moonlight from the pool to counteract Malvian's dark magic. The light from the moonstone weakened Malvian's powers, and he was eventually forced to retreat, vanishing into the shadows. Leora retrieved the Moonstone Crown, which had fallen from Malvian's grasp. She carefully placed it back in its rightful place, and its gentle glow restored the balance of magic in the kingdom. Triumphant, Leora and Pippin returned to Celera, where they were welcomed with great joy. Queen Alara placed the crown back upon her head, and its light once again bathed the kingdom in a serene glow. The people celebrated Leora's bravery and thanked her for restoring their peace. From that day on, Leora was celebrated as a hero. The Moonstone Crown continued to shine brightly, a beacon of hope and unity for the kingdom of Celera. And Leora, with her loyal companion Pippin, continued to explore and protect the land, forever guided by the magic of the moon and the lessons of her adventure. And so, the kingdom thrived in peace and prosperity, and the tale of the Moonstone Crown became a cherished story, reminding all of the power of courage and the importance of protecting what is truly precious. Once upon a time, in a kingdom far away, there was a village called Larkspur nestled in a valley surrounded by towering mountains and dense forests. Larkspur was a peaceful village where everyone knew each other, and life was simple and joyful. However, the village had a mysterious problem. Every year, on the first night of summer, the village's precious well would run dry, leaving the villagers without their most vital resource. The villagers had tried everything to solve the mystery, but no one had succeeded. Legend had it that deep within the forbidden forest, which lay beyond the mountains, there was an enchanted spring with water that could bring life back to their well. Yet, the forest was filled with magical creatures and ancient spells that protected the spring. In this village lived a young girl named Eliza, known for her bravery and kindness. She had often heard the stories of the enchanted spring from her grandmother, who believed that only someone with a pure heart could find it. As the first night of summer approached and the well began to dry up, Eliza decided that she would venture into the forbidden forest and find the spring to save her village. Armed with her grandmother's stories and a small satchel of provisions, Eliza set out at dawn. She walked for hours, the path growing more rugged and overgrown with each step. The forest was dark and foreboding, but Eliza's resolve was strong. She followed a narrow trail until she reached a shimmering lake, where she encountered her first obstacle, a giant serpent coiled around a massive rock. "Who dares enter the forbidden forest?" the serpent hissed, its eyes glinting in the dim light. "I am Eliza of Larkspur," she replied, her voice steady. "I seek the enchanted spring to save my village." The serpent studied her for a moment before nodding. "You have courage, young one. To pass, you must answer a riddle. What is the one thing that grows when you share it, yet diminishes if you hoard it? Eliza thought for a moment and then smiled. It is love. The more you share it, the more it grows, but if you keep it to yourself, it withers. The serpent uncoiled and slithered away, allowing Eliza to pass. She continued her journey, the forest growing darker and the air thick with magic. Soon, she reached a clearing where a beautiful silver stag stood, its antlers shimmering like moonlight. "Welcome, brave traveler," the stag said, its voice gentle. "To find the enchanted spring, you must prove your kindness. In this forest, there is a wounded fox. Find it and heal it, and you may continue." Eliza nodded and set off in search of the fox. She wandered through the forest until she heard a faint whimpering. Following the sound, she found a small fox caught in a hunter's trap. Gently, she freed the fox and tended to its wounds with herbs from her satchel. The fox licked her hand in gratitude and scampered off into the woods. Returning to the clearing, Eliza found the stag waiting for her. "You have shown great kindness," it said. "Follow the path of glowing flowers, and you will find the spring." Eliza followed the path, which was illuminated by flowers that glowed with a soft, ethereal light. As she walked, she felt a sense of peace and determination. Finally, she reached a glade bathed in golden light. In the center of the glade was the enchanted spring, its water sparkling like diamonds. As Eliza approached the spring, a figure emerged from the water, a beautiful woman with long, flowing hair and eyes like the deepest pools. "Who comes to seek the waters of the enchanted spring?" the woman asked, her voice like the gentle ripple of the spring. "I am Eliza of Larkspur," Eliza replied, bowing her head. "I seek your waters to save my village's well, which runs dry every summer." The woman smiled kindly. "You have shown courage, kindness, and wisdom. You are worthy of the spring's gift. Take this vial of its waters and pour it into your well. It will never run dry again." With deep gratitude, Eliza filled the vial and thanked the woman. As she turned to leave, the woman spoke again. "Remember, Eliza, the magic of the spring is not just in its water, but in the courage and kindness you have shown. Carry that magic in your heart always." Eliza made her way back through the forest, retracing her steps past the silver stag and the shimmering lake. When she reached Larkspur, the villagers gathered around her, their faces filled with hope and curiosity. She poured the enchanted water into the village well, and as soon as the last drop fell, the well filled with crystal clear water, sparkling in the sunlight. The villagers rejoiced, their cheers echoing through the valley. Eliza's bravery and selflessness had saved them all. From that day on, the well never ran dry, and Larkspur flourished like never before. Eliza became a hero in her village, not just for her courageous journey but for the love and kindness she showed to everyone around her. And so, the village of Larkspur lived happily ever after, their hearts forever filled with gratitude for the brave girl who ventured into the forbidden forest and brought back the magic of the enchanted spring. Once upon a time, in a village nestled beside a vast and enchanting forest, there was a small cottage that belonged to an elderly woman named Granny Willow. Granny Willow was renowned for her kindness and her extraordinary collection of lanterns. Each lantern was unique, but none was as special as the firefly lantern that hung in her front window. This lantern was said to glow with the light of 1,000 fireflies and was believed to have magical powers. The village children often visited Granny Willow to hear her stories and marvel at her lanterns. Among them was a brave and curious girl named Lila. She was fascinated by the firefly lantern and often dreamed of discovering its secrets. Granny Willow, seeing Lila's fascination, shared that the lantern had once belonged to a legendary hero who had used its magic to protect the forest and its creatures. One day, a mysterious darkness began to spread through the forest. The once vibrant trees and glowing flowers dimmed, and a chill crept into the air. The villagers were worried, for they knew that the forest's magic was essential to their well-being. Granny Willow, sensing the urgency, called Lila to her cottage. Lila, the firefly lantern holds the key to restoring the forest's light. But to unlock its magic, You must undertake a quest to find the source of the darkness and bring back the heart of the forest. Lila's eyes sparkled with determination. I will do it, Granny Willow. I promise I'll restore the forest's light. Armed with the firefly lantern and a small satchel of supplies, Lila set off towards the forest. The darkness seemed to grow thicker with each step, and the familiar paths became difficult to navigate. But the firefly lantern glowed softly, guiding her way with its gentle light. Lila followed a winding trail through the forest until she reached the Whispering Glade, a magical clearing known for its serene beauty. But now, the glade was shrouded in gloom. In the center of the glade stood an ancient, twisted tree with gnarled branches. At the base of the tree was a dark, swirling vortex of shadows. Lila approached the tree cautiously. As she did, a soft, sorrowful voice echoed through the glade. Who dares to disturb the heart of the forest? Lila looked around and saw a graceful, ethereal figure emerging from the shadows, a guardian spirit of the forest. The spirit's eyes were filled with sadness. The heart of the forest is imprisoned within this tree, and the darkness you see is the result of a powerful curse. Only the pure of heart can break the curse. Lila took a deep breath and spoke with confidence. I am here to help. How can I break the curse and restore the forest's light? The spirit explained that to break the curse, Lila needed to retrieve 3 magical items scattered throughout the forest: the moonlit feather, the sunstone, and the dewdrop petal. These items represented the balance of light and needed to be placed on the ancient tree to lift the curse. Lila set off on her quest, starting with the moonlit feather. She ventured to the highest peak of the forest where the moonlit owl lived. The owl, with its shimmering feathers, agreed to give Lila the feather in exchange for a psalm. Lila sang a beautiful, heartfelt tune, and the owl rewarded her with a glowing feather. Next, Lila sought the sunstone, hidden in a sunlit grove guarded by a mischievous squirrel. The squirrel agreed to give her the stone if she could solve a riddle. Lila listened carefully and answered the riddle correctly, earning the sunstone's brilliant glow. For the final item, Lila journeyed to the dewdrop meadow, where she found the dewdrop petal resting upon a silver leaf. The petal was protected by a gentle, sparkling stream. Using the firefly lantern's light to reveal the hidden path, Lila carefully retrieved the petal without disturbing the delicate ecosystem. With all 3 magical items in hand, Lila returned to the Whispering Glade. She approached the ancient tree and placed the moonlit feather, sunstone, and dewdrop petal on its base. As she did, the firefly lantern's light grew brighter, and a warm, golden glow began to spread through the glade. The darkness began to recede, and the curse was lifted. The ancient tree's branches unfurled, and the heart of the forest, an iridescent crystal, was revealed. The crystal pulsed with a vibrant light, and the forest came alive once more. The flowers bloomed, the trees glowed, and the creatures of the forest celebrated the return of the light. Lila returned to the village as a hero, the firefly lantern still glowing with its magical light. Granny Willow and the villagers welcomed her with joy and gratitude. The forest was restored, and the firefly lantern became a symbol of hope and courage. And so, the village of Evergreen thrived once more, forever grateful to the brave girl who had restored the light to their enchanted forest. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled in a lush valley, there was a mysterious old shop called the Weaving Wonders. The shop was run by a kind but reclusive woman named Elowen, who was known for her exquisite and magical tapestries. Each tapestry she wove told a story, and it was said that the threads she used were imbued with enchantments. The villagers loved Elowen's tapestries, but there was one tale that was often whispered among them, the story of the enchanted loom. According to legend, this loom had the power to weave not just beautiful tapestries but also to create magical items and fulfill the deepest desires of those who used it. However, the loom had been hidden away for many years, and its magic was believed to be lost. In this village lived a young girl named Mira. Mira had always been fascinated by the stories of magic and wonder that surrounded Elowen's shop. She was known for her curious nature and her ability to solve puzzles. One day, she overheard a conversation about the enchanted loom and decided she would find it and uncover its secrets. Mira approached Elowen's shop, which was covered in ivy and seemed to hum with an otherworldly energy. She knocked on the door, and Eloan answered with a warm, but mysterious smile. "How can I help you, dear?" she asked. Mira took a deep breath and said, "I've heard the story of the enchanted loom. I want to find it and see if the magic is real. Can you help me?" Eloan's eyes twinkled with a mix of surprise and approval. "The loom is hidden in a secret place, and only someone with a pure heart and a sharp mind can find it. If you truly wish to seek it, you must first complete 3 tasks that test your courage, kindness, and wisdom." Mira agreed eagerly, and Eloan handed her a small, ornate key and a map with strange symbols. "Follow the map, and you will find the tasks you need to complete." The map led Mira to the edge of the village and into the enchanted forest, a magical place known for its shifting paths and talking creatures. Her first task was to find the task of courage. As she ventured deeper into the forest, Mira came across a narrow bridge guarded by a fierce-looking dragon. The dragon was actually a gentle creature under a spell, and it roared to scare away intruders. Mira approached the dragon calmly and spoke to it with compassion. She learned that the dragon was protecting a magical flower that could only be retrieved by someone with a brave heart. Mira's courage and kind words broke the spell, and the dragon allowed her to pick the flower, which she placed carefully in her satchel. The next task was the task of kindness. Mira followed the map to a clearing where a family of rabbits was struggling to find food. The forest had become overgrown, making it difficult for them to find their usual nourishment. Mira used the magical flower's glow to light the way and cleared a path to a nearby meadow where the rabbits could find plenty of food. The grateful rabbits showed her the way to her next destination. The final task was the task of wisdom. Mira arrived at a stone archway with a puzzle inscribed on it. The puzzle was a series of symbols and riddles that needed to be solved to unlock the gate. Mira studied the symbols carefully and used her knowledge of the stories she had heard about the enchanted loom. With each correct answer, the archway symbols glowed brighter, and the gate slowly opened. Beyond the gate was a hidden chamber bathed in soft, golden light. At the center of the chamber stood the enchanted loom, its wooden frame intricately carved with magical runes. The loom was surrounded by vibrant threads of every color, shimmering as if alive. Mira approached the loom with awe. As she touched it, the loom began to weave a tapestry before her eyes. The tapestry depicted scenes of the village, its people, and the wonders of the enchanted forest. Mira realized that the loom's true magic was in its ability to bring people's dreams and desires to life through its weavings. With a heart full of gratitude, Mira returned to Eloan's shop and shared her adventure. Eloan was delighted and revealed that the loom had chosen Mira because of her pure heart and unwavering spirit. Mira's bravery, kindness, and wisdom had restored the loom's magic, and the village was once again filled with the enchantment of its beautiful tapestries. From then on, Mira and Eloan worked together to create magical tapestries that brought joy and wonder to the village. The enchanted loom became a symbol of the village's unity and the power of believing in the magic within one's heart. And so, the tale of Mira and the enchanted loom became a cherished story, teaching that with courage, kindness, and wisdom, one can uncover the greatest of treasures and bring magic into the world.